We started something, gonna get together. Every man and woman, boy and girl, loving one another, all the sisters and the brothers, loving one another around the world. Get on the line, get on the line for love, hey, get on the line, get on the line for love, hey. The sun is rising on a brand new morning. Got to tell the people everywhere. Got to pass it on before all hope is gone. Let the light go by you if you dare. Get on the line, get on the line for love, hey, get on the line, get on the line for love, hey, come on. Get on the line, hey, get on the line. Can't you see what's happening? Can't you see what's happening? Open up your mind, open up your mind. Reach out your hand to your brother and sister, or you're gonna be left behind. Hey, get on the line, get on the line for love now. Hey, get on the line, get on the line for love. Hey, we started something, gonna get together. Every man, woman, boy, and girl, loving one another, all the sisters and the brothers, loving one another around the world. Come on, get on the line, get on the line for love now. Hey, get on the line, get on the line for love. Hey, get on the line, get on the line for love. Hey, your hands. Come on, get on the line. 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 Hey, get on the line. Get on the line now. Hey, get on the line. Get on the line. Hey, get on the line. Come on.
Hey, 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 hey.
Little done in my son John. Went to sleep with his stockings on. What you want? What you want? Beetle, beetle, dum in my son John.
Hey, you say you love me all the time. You're saying that you'll always be mine. Girl, I feel I got to tell you,
It sounds like a nursery rhyme.
you say you're gonna see me tomorrow. And when you don't, you fill me with sorrow. Hey, little Miss Muffet, you're making me a little more blue. Don't you know you're driving me crazy? Treating me just like a baby. I'm through with Mother Goosey and bedtime stories from you.
Beetle, beetle, dum in my son John. Went to sleep with his stockings on. What you want? What you want? Beetle, beetle, dum in my son John.
Hey, you sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, oh, sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, honey, oh, sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. When I kissed you, girl, I knew how sweet a kiss could be. I know how sweet a kiss can be. Like the summer sunshine, pour your sweetness over me. Pour your sweetness over me. Oh, sugar, sugar on it, honey. Pour little sugar on it, baby.
Life's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pour little sugar on it. Oh, yeah. Pour little sugar on it, honey. Pour little sugar on it, baby.
I'm gonna make life so sweet.
Yeah, pour little sugar on it, honey. Ah, sugar. Honey, honey. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, honey, sugar, sugar, honey, sugar, you are my candy girl.
Sing me, sing me, sing me. Sing me, sing me, baby. Sing me, sing me, sing me. Sing me, jingle, jangle. Sing me, baby.
Ever since I met you, I couldn't want you better. I couldn't love you stronger if I tried. It's my true heart I'm showing. All my nose would be growing. You know that it gets longer when I lie. Singing la 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 la.
Sing me, sing me, sing me.
La 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 la.
Sing me, jingle, jangle.
La 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 la.
Ooh, sing me, baby.
Being kind of pretty and down here in the city, find it isn't easy to be smart. When trying to untangle the jingle from the jangle, it's easy if you listen with your heart. Singing la 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 la.
Sing me, sing me, sing me.
La 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 la.
Sing the jingle jangle.
La 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 la.
Sing me, baby.
We'll make the winter springtime and jingle jangle sing time, right on to the summer and the fall. So darling, don't be weeping, and please don't you be sleeping when I come creeping down the hall to sing it.
Darn, I was hoping
I would
that
sing.
we'd have. I was hoping you'd be singing on an unmuted mic.
No, I'm singing. I'm just under my breath. You just don't hear it, sir.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
So,
no,
so you
I-
mean to
I
tell me you only have one Archie's CD?
Well, I could go download the discography, but I haven't done that yet. Because I'm sorry, I think Archie's is okay to have a discography of. Right,
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's a statute of limitations, right? I'm allowed.
I think if you own one album, the rest come free, right? I
think it's BOGO.
BOGO.
Buy one, get all of them free.
Boga.
Go BOGUF.
Boga.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure what to play before starting the show, and I'm like, well, what
That
was
first song's a banger. That first song is so good.
Which one was the first one?
The one before Sugar Sugar. I don't know.
Oh, Archie's Party?
Yeah, that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, well, the one I started with before anyone joined was this one, which is also a good banger. Get on the Line.
Oh, I was on for that one. I was the first person in the room, but
Yeah. Because that one,
look at that.
well, that one shows up in my YouTube feed every now and then. Because that was like the theme for like the Archie Sabrina show or something. So when people post the show openings,
Yeah.
that one shows up there.
I mean, this show has been muted for content already, but it's okay. It was muted when it first started, so
Hey, I'll
like
send.
fast forward and when do we get to actually the show?
I'm perfectly fine with the group of cartoon characters getting the monetization for this episode. I'm fine with that.
By the way, if anybody has MeTV Tunes or over there, MeTV Tunes is the best channel in the world. Great channel, free over the air, and I think it's 68.6 in my local area. Yeah, MeTV Tunes has a really good. I don't know. Is there a Brian today?
Well, according to Twitter, he said one moment, but he said that 8 minutes ago. So
Oh, I maybe he's in the potty. I had to.
he could be.
Yeah, it took me about 6 minutes for my potty break. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So he'll or maybe I don't know, maybe his Windows isn't starting up. Here he is. He's in the waiting room.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey.
Brian.
All right, gang is all here.
Wicked.
And
We got Mod Pro and
Warhawk's there. Mod Pro's there.
so Brian's mic is louder than Mars's mic.
Do I need to go higher? Do I need to go
So-
higher?
Well, Sparky would probably suggest that you two trade mics. I think is what.
I mean, I just have mine low. My audio every time. See, I run insider builds on Windows, so everything always changes all the time. I can actually get closer to. Actually, wait.
Well, yeah. If you just tweak that level up a little bit to match Brian's.
is he fighting his microphone now? What the hell?
Stand.
That is, yeah. Wow.
There. Is that better?
No.
Better. There.
No, it's not.
Ah, damn it! Okay. I can fix that. I can fix it.
Is there a slider somewhere that we could do?
There's a slider. Just a second. I gotta
Okay,
open up
all
my
right.
control panel.
All right, got to get the control panel. Then we got to get. You know, internet sharing is easier in Windows 10 than it was in Windows 98. You could actually make a hotspot out of your Wi-Fi adapter.
Oh.
And I know this because Addy asked me how could I do that, and I told him, well, you could do that, and he says, well, no, but not over Wi-Fi. And I'm like, well, you could select Bluetooth.
Wait,
And then he started talking about SSH tunneling to try to get into his Works VPN. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to help you circumvent your company's security policies.
Oops.
How's that? Better? Worse?
It
Better,
sounds about
worse,
the
worse,
same.
better?
It's about the
Really?
same.
Really? Do I need it
Really.
louder? Wait, where's my mic? My mic's way over here. Why is it over there? I don't want it over here. Okay, let's see. I can get louder. Let's see. How's that?
Oh, okay.
Better?
We'll go-
Worse? Do I need it louder?
1 2 1 2 1 2.
No,
1 2
you're-
siblings. One 2 1 2.
I don't think it changed. I really don't. I'm not hearing any.
I can't hear anything.
They're not of 100.
Yikes.
Okay. Now you're
I'm at
distorting.
100. Is that too loud?
That is too loud.
Should I go loud?
Let's
What
try
were you at
80.
before?
Let's try 80.
How's that?
What
That
were
is
you at before?
perfect.
Before
That's
we
at
went to
90. I was at 80 before.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 90
how about
good.
85.
What? You want
See,
to
I
go
didn't
85?
have a problem with your volume.
Oh.
80s. No, well, no, I didn't have
Okay,
a problem
I'm
with
on
the volume.
86. It's an even number, 86.
That's cool.
Okay,
See,
we'll do
my-
86. If I need to go
Here.
lower, let me know.
That's good. No, my
Okay.
only problem was trying to balance because you know you want the voices. You know there was for a while when we were living in Oakland, Chris and I both like to go to sleep with something on to like lull us to sleep. And before I bought a
Television
second,
or music.
well,
Thing.
um, well we don't not music. We like something to talk or something entertaining to listen to. But when we were in Oakland, we only had the one TV, and so before we bought a bedroom TV, you know, in the early days when I was still establishing myself there and getting out of a little bit of debt, you know, I just had the TV I brought with me when I moved out there, the old 27-inch CRT Orion TV, the Walmart
Ooh.
special.
I remember
and,
Ryan. Yeah, I remember that Walmart.
So Kristen would put her laptop on and put on like recordings of this talk show, and I always found it annoying because their levels sucked. So you'd have some people that voices were normal, and just as you drifting off, this one person come in really loud like that. It was
Yeah.
like, damn, maybe I need to put a compressor on that laptop.
And of course, when it goes into an ad,
Yeah,
then it's even louder.
I don't know. Some
Yeah, I
of my
really
ads
hate
on
that.
Twitch are like null and void. I mean, they just don't. They're very quiet.
So one of our TVs, when we switched to the Roku box, you know, from Comcast, it gets really loud. So we have to turn the volume down quickly before it starts playing. I mean, it's just like screaming at you.
Dune writes in, did he say get blowed to sleep? I think I said lull to sleep, or maybe I said, I don't know what I said that you heard. I didn't say blowed to sleep. I probably referenced listening to material to like lull me to sleep. So we know where Dune's mind is. And besides,
Actually, I had a question for Dune.
about getting blowed to sleep?
Uh,
No.
completely different topic.
Okay. You
I
have
was
a
already
question
bored
for
with that
Dune.
one.
You have a question for Dune.
Would
It's
you
already
have
good.
any interest to discuss crypto? Because I've been starting to kind of look at it. I'm not sure. If I
Crypto's
have any-
over.
It's over?
It's over.
No, it's not.
It's not as big of a topic as it used to be, and I think a big part
Well,
of
that's
that
because it was brand new and nobody knew about it.
it's
And back then, I was really ignoring it. Like,
Sir,
I don't really give a shit.
Sir, crypto was a thing when we were working together at the same company. Although it was only Bitcoin back then, but that was what.
Well, sure. Now there's a bunch of them, and a lot of them you don't want to be involved.
Well, let me just say that my perception of crypto is that it's one of those things that's really easy to look at the past and say, "Man, I could have made a killing if I got in on that." I'll
Sure.
also say that there are a lot of people's stories that I have heard listening to podcasts that the story kind of goes, I put things in crypto, I did all these things, it blew up to a huge amount, something went wrong and I lost it all, but I could get it all back next year. And I never
Sure,
hear the
yeah,
follow-up
yeah,
story
yeah.
when they got
Yeah,
it back.
right, yeah, really.
So there's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of,
yeah.
a lot
I
of
mean,
those.
some people are into just pure gambling.
But the other
Oh,
thing,
look at this! I win, and then they don't mention how many times they lose.
yeah, crypto's kind of a gamble. It's
Well,
like,
I mean, to some extent, almost any investment can be a gamble.
right, but crypto even more so. I mean, investments you could do research and have
Well,
factual basis.
some quote unquote
There's still no
experts
guarantee.
think that we're in a crypto bubble, and it's going to burst soon.
Well, I'm not even sure it's active enough to. It's burst so many times though, but and I don't follow this, so please do your own research based off of my half-assed.
Well, this is why I
memory.
was kind of
But
thought of and I'd like to hear what Dune's opinion is.
well, Dune has talked about this in the past, where there was a guy that was telling him about crypto, and Dune was kind of listening, and then the guy made reference to, oh yeah, that's over there, you know, where they filmed the faked moon landing, you know. And so Dune's like, oh, geez, I was listening to you. Now I have to forget everything you told me. You know,
That's
Dune-
great.
Dune writes in, I don't really have any solid opinion. If you have some penny stock money, then it's worth playing with. Now, Dune did buy some Bitcoin back in
Well,
the
that's
day
what I was thinking. Yeah.
and let it sit for a while and ended up like buying a new computer with the profits.
Alexa, how much is one
Cool.
Bitcoin worth?
One Bitcoin is about 69,900 US dollars.
Okay.
And when we were buying them, we were buying like fractions of Bitcoin. We were buying, like, I think Dune may have bought. I think I bought like $20 worth of Bitcoin, and then like after a few months,
Sure.
it was $20 worth of Bitcoin, and I was like, "Let me get my $20 back." 'cause
Really?
This is,
How much would you have right now, you think?
I had maybe a few hundred, maybe a few
So
thousand.
yeah, so as we say, there are many different
Nothing
forms of
life-changing.
crypto, but one of them is Tether, and you know what that is worth now?
What's that?
Just like when it started, it's worth $1 because it's tied to the dollar.
Well, there's interesting. One thing is that I think the big story that kind of because a few years ago, or maybe even a year ago, crypto was a huge topic, and then it became a huge topic because of the huge fraud case. What there was this guy that was a self-pronounced genius that was fooling other people into calling him a genius, that had created some kind of a stable coin. The concept being that crypto is very volatile, and so there was a need to have some kind of a stable place to park money when you're moving things around through this
And I think that's
volatile
what Tether.
thing.
I think that's what Tether is for.
Okay, well,
Tied to the dollar.
Tether is Tether because there was the one that was tied to the dollar, and then it turned out to be a huge fraud. There was like shady accounting and shady books.
Well, Tether is still there.
All right,
I was looking at some of the ones that are still available.
I need to Google this to get the facts together.
I don't do
Sure,
crypto,
no,
so-
and that's hard. We don't have
No,
to.
Tether was the one. Tether was what was
Oh.
called a stable coin.
But it's still there, though.
Well, I don't know if it was Tether or not. I listened to a whole podcast series about it. It's such a complicated mess. It's one of those things that you kind of understand while you're listening to the story, and then a few hours later, you've already forgotten the whole complicated mess. Like, I've listened to a podcast series that explained the whole Enron thing. I couldn't tell you a thing about it, though. I understood it while I was listening to it. But, it's...
Enron screwed up, yes.
well, no, it's more complicated than that. The accounting, the practices, the shady, and how it unfolded and unraveled. It's a fascinating story.
Anderson Accounting Company,
Right.
Anderson Coopers.
So
they went out of business because they fucked up.
So there was the stable coin that was supposed to that they were doing shady practices with the spending and the money and the investing and things like that, and it all unraveled and came crashing down. A lot of people lost a lot of money. There were, I think, a few trials for the guy, and I think the guy's in jail now over the whole thing. So that seemed to, because big things like that is what will get a lot of people to just walk away from it.
Oh, in October, Wall Street Journal reported that in October of 2024 that Tether was a target of a criminal investigation for possible violations and sanctions and anti-money laundering.
I'm not surprised.
Anti-money laundering rules.
So that's the problem with crypto, is that there's a lot of scam and a lot of things, and sure there's a lot of the easy to spot scams and a lot of things that just like, well, that looks shady. But then there's the stuff that's run by people that are smart enough to make it look good until someone starts pulling on a thread and it all falls apart. So
sure,
crypto has proven itself to be an unreliable mess that I think a lot of people just don't want to bother with. And after that, it's just really, that's why I'm like, no, we're kind of in a post crypto world. It was in the mainstream for a while. It turned into a huge big Enron type event, and now no sane person wants to touch it. But if you're the type of guy that has a little bit of spare cash that you want to throw at penny stock for fun, by all means. Some people shoot craps. Some people do crypto.
Well, the also interesting. We're just talking about crypto in general. It's some countries it's illegal to even be involved in it. Some of it's highly restricted. In 2021, El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender.
One piece of advice I can give you is if you're going to get into mining your own crypto, don't bring a bunch of servers and equipment to your place of work and set them up in the work's server room.
Right.
They tend to frown on that. But
Sure. Oh,
that's
Fortunately-
the best
fortunately,
advice I could offer.
Or of course, that's a good advice for a person that's retired.
That's a good advice. Well, I guess you have no
Johnny-
choice but to set it up
Johnny-
at your place of work because you work from home as retired. So I guess you have no choice. But yeah, no, it was. I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot. I mean, I dabbled a little bit a few times.
No,
and
and
I pretty
you
much
know,
always broke out even. But then again, I always went for short periods. So
Sure. Well, I mean, if you're interested in it, you'll watch it. If you're not interested, stay away.
yeah.
The best advice on any type of investment, if you don't know about it, don't do it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you know nothing about, who cares, General Motors, you might want to stay away from it. I don't really care. I mean,
Yeah.
I just grabbed
Well,
that one.
the other thing is
try not to be controversial.
it's very random too. Like there was what was it? There was because there's these whole things. There's the NFTs, and then there's the different types of groups, and the ones that anyone that's in it has a say. And the
I like it. Mars and silver is shiny.
silver is shiny.
I like shiny metal.
So there was a group of people that started some sort of a crypto type of group, and they started it because they were trying to raise funds to. They were trying to buy. What were they trying to buy? They're trying to buy something patriotic. Oh, what was it?
I don't know. Of course, Elon Musk admitted clearly that he got into Dogecoin as a joke.
Oh, a lot of people did. It got. That's another example of how the most random thing catches on. I think it was pronounced Dogecoin. But yeah, it was.
I would dodge it. See, that's
it-
why I say it that way.
It was started as a joke. People bought it as a joke, and as a result, it took off as a joke. But the joke was that it wasn't, and it was. I mean, it's.
Well, and it's still around.
I mean, you never know what's going to inspire people to purchase something, and when some random thing inspires people to purchase something,
And it could have been that
it becomes a success.
It could have been just that Elon Musk was involved.
Well, Elon Musk is one of those people that has the type of power he can tweet things that result in stock market changes,
Sure.
which
Gators,
is
I
ridiculous.
have something patriotic for you. Now
Okay,
you may not want to
Okay.
share your screen because I'm not sure the images. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Now look at the. I put it in the our chat.
Chatteroo.
Yeah.
In the chat.
I don't usually go to the site, but
Okay, all right. So this is a Vegas strip club, neighboring brothel, offering X-rated voter incentives.
yes. See, very patriotic and
That-
very political. So
that-
enjoy. Everybody in Vegas should vote.
That is okay. Las Vegas is heating things up for election season with some adult entertainment spots rolling out steamy voter incentives, from free lap dances to discounted sex services. Is that legal?
It's in Vegas. I don't know. It's at the brothels.
well-
they're
well,
at the brothels.
Okay, so the interesting thing is that prostitution is legal in Nevada.
I don't
Yeah.
mean.
It
I mean
is
buying
restricted.
votes.
It is
No.
restricted in many places,
No.
including Las Vegas. It is not
No.
legal in Las Vegas.
No, it's not
Right.
buying votes. Keep reading, Gators. Keep reading. They don't care as long as you have your sticker.
Oh,
Your
oh,
sticker is your passport right there. Apparently.
oh, I
You
see.
walk
So,
in with the sticker, and then you
Yeah.
can get a
Yeah.
free lap dance or something.
free lap dance for walking in with an "I voted" sticker.
See, there you go, Gators. Very political. Very, very patriotic. So enjoy.
And I wonder if
yeah.
I mean,
I
I
wonder
remember
if
Michael
that is-
Moore got in trouble for buying college students clean underwear in exchange for voting, and
Whoa,
now
I don't
we're
know.
and that is a federal crime.
Buying clean underwear for people.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, no.
It's like, hi.
Essentially paying for people to vote, to register to vote, anything to do with voting.
Well, yeah.
anything
pay,
to do
give
with
it a
buying
discount.
votes,
Yeah,
which
they're gonna-
which
yeah.
which kind of goes to what one of my favorite things to point to is that a big problem with democracy in this country is that our elections are determined by the turnout and not the people, and the turnout can be manipulated by all kinds of factors.
Sure.
So if unfortunately there's no quick fix for that, because sure, you can make voting mandatory, but that isn't all of a sudden going to make our culture that everyone goes and votes because that's just what we do. Certainly, I don't think if we were to manage to get a mandatory voting act through, which is a huge if, I doubt that it would pass with a penalty stiff enough to actually inspire anyone to change their ways.
Oh.
So
No
Well,
pun intended.
well, if
no
it-
pun
it would be a
intended.
step in the right direction
There
to
was a,
moving the needle on culture.
There was this woman that was on that went viral
Mhm.
that said I'm 83 years old and I just voted for the first time.
Okay. Go
That's
for it.
because her husband didn't think she should vote, so she didn't.
Oh, no?
Well, he died last year, so now she can vote.
Nice.
Well,
Is that bizarre?
That-
To me, it's just bizarre.
it's sadly not surprising.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's sadly believable story.
Well, it's in the same vein as if you take your I voted sticker and go to like Denny's and they give you a free waffle or something. There are a lot of places that give you incentives for the sticker. I mean, they do that if you have I donate blood sticker too. They do that at a lot of places as well.
I guess if
I
the
see nothing wrong with
incentive is
that.
after
Look.
the fact, that's
Well, at least
not
the I
quite
donated
the-
blood sticker,
Mm.
and you got an incentive for that would be totally legal. Where anything related to an election or voting could be illegal. So
Well, you're not
I would
paying
be
them, you're
talking
just
to your
giving a
lawyer
discount.
before I offer that deal.
It's like a coupon negotiator, Brian. It's fine.
Right, it's a coupon.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a coupon.
And,
It's fine.
and it's only for the sticker. Anyone can go out and get the sticker.
Maybe you just find one in the street. Oh, there's a sticker. I can go get a discount.
You know what I liked? There was that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David's waiting online to vote, and like he's impatient, and so he asks the guy in front of him who's he going to vote for, and the guy in front of him is going to vote for the opposite person that Larry David's going to vote for. Larry's like, "Well, I'm voting for that guy. You're voting for that guy. Our votes cancel each other out. What do you say we both just leave the line and call it a day?"
And go to a bar. Drown our sorrows.
So, of course, then the election was lost by one vote, and everyone hated
Oh.
Larry and blamed him for it. But
Of
he tried to
course.
explain,
Right.
no, it was the exchange.
The
It
other
was
guy. Right.
me and the guy that canceled out my vote. We left at the same
Well,
time.
but that really only works for shall we say local candidates.
Hmm.
And these national candidates, if I was only going to vote for president, maybe I wouldn't even bother because hey, California is going for the one, right? And everybody knows it. California.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
whatever.
yeah, it's a fucked up system, but that's a contentious topic.
Right. Well, so
I think we all know what my opinions on that are.
I just
Well,
thought
we
it was
have
funny.
talked
I didn't care about
getting
how
rid
people
of
vote.
the getting rid of the electoral college, which I can't disagree with. It's just going to be very difficult to do.
It's a heavy lift, even if
Cage
Let's
match.
see, the Constitution says.
That sounds
It-
good.
getting an amendment through is quite the heavy lift. Not
Oh, yeah.
not to mention that the people that are favored by the imbalance are would like to keep their
Sure.
edge. So it's But
So if you're in Vegas, vote, guys.
now Warhawk suggesting that we should just have a WWE event where the two candidates fight it out.
I say cage match. It's
Yes.
been great.
Cage.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I
don't-
Cage match is the modern.
I'm
I
going
watched
to
a little bit of that.
I'm going to speak in generalities here, but if you have a lot of elderly candidates,
Yeah.
that could get a bit brutal to put.
Well,
elderly
whoever,
people in
let's just say
cage
whoever gets the steel
matches.
chair from the folding chair from underneath the ring, probably win.
I think I once saw a meme that was a picture of Bernie Sanders carrying a folding chair that had a caption of like a WWE announcer.
Oh,
Like
nice.
Oops, I'm sorry.
The
What
more
was,
brutal, the better.
what was the
Well,
bottom line? I missed it. My headphones fell off.
something about cage matches and the folding chair and then
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is what you do. I got it right. Make it a
Okay.
pay-per-view event, right? Pay-per-view event. Take the money, add it to national deficit to help clear us up a little bit.
All right.
there you
Yeah.
go.
I'm
that
on that.
it might not make a couple trillion, but it might make a couple million to help out.
Hey, every election makes a difference, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bottom line is, lap dance or not, everyone should vote. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just Vegas is giving, and that's not just that one place. There's a couple places doing it.
And,
So there you
and
go.
if you want to, you could try to go to your local strip club with an I voted sticker and ask the dancers behind the counter, hey, does this get me anything?
Didn't Elon Musk challenge Bezos to a fight?
No,
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, he challenged the other one, the Facebook guy,
Oh, yeah, Zuckerberg. Yeah, that's right.
Zuckerberg.
You're
that
right.
didn't
You're right.
work out.
And they did a lot of yo mama talk back and forth, and then they just quietly backed down from it while no one was paying attention.
You know, it was still pretty funny.
It
It was pretty funny, I have to
Exactly.
say. It was good. It was good publicity stunt. We all know who would have won, but
yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, most of the stuff that I heard was from Elon's side. It was like, is the other guy even participating?
Oh, he was. He said
Okay.
he was ready to go.
Yeah, and the problem is the Facebook guy Zuckerberg. He works out, so I wouldn't mess with him.
There were some people that were suggesting it would be lose for Elon because Elon I think was favored to be the stronger of the two, and it would be a bad look for him to beat up someone smaller than him. Then again, I think Elon Musk already does a good job making himself look like an ass on a daily basis.
Maybe
so
Zuckerberg
it makes
would
no
bring the
difference to me.
Maybe Zuckerberg would bring the chair.
That could be. That
it
could be.
depends on who has the chair.
That depends who has the chair.
I was watching this episode of Star Trek Enterprise last night, and the end kind of was the Klingons were trying to put pressure on this planet, and the Enterprise was helping the local guys, and they're fighting hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
And there's T'Pol fighting with this Klingons holding this bat'leth, and T'Pol wins. She's just got her hands. That bat'leth would do some big damage if the guy could just get one strike in. It was like, okay, that's totally fake, man.
You're saying TV
She
has
should have had
lied to
a
us?
chair.
TV has lied to us?
Exactly. Exactly.
And speaking
Or just being unrealistic.
Speaking of that wonderful thing called television, which my dad used to love to refer to as the idiot box.
No, that's very common. I still use that.
No, my dad would call it the idiot box as if he was high and mighty and didn't like watching it himself.
And he did anyway.
And that he did. Yeah.
Of course. Yes, sir. I have joined the idiots.
He knew the exact right amount of time to watch television and not be an idiot, and that it happened to equal the amount of time he would watch it. And any of us that watched it for longer than he did, like those of us that got home earlier than him. I think he was just jealous that we got home from school earlier than he got home from work. And you know what?
And he really wanted
was
to watch
right.
the Jetsons. Right?
What's that?
He really wanted to watch the Jetsons.
He really wanted to, or the Woody Woodpecker show, or the Disney Afternoon. Get
was
some
your-
Tailspin and
Those-
Rescue
these are
Rangers
those.
going.
What was your favorite show when you got home from school?
See, my favorite show, I don't know if... So you're talking strictly after school shows.
Yeah, during the week, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Disney Afternoon was quite often on. I recall enjoying Goof Troop quite a bit because that's my
Goof
kind of
Troop?
humor. Oh, yeah, the Goof Troop. With
What is
Goofy
that?
and his son
The afternoon
Max.
was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was a
And then, of
cartoon
course,
series about Goofy and his son Max and the neighbors they lived next. They lived next door
And-
to
Oh, on the
Peg Leg
Disney. On
Pete.
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
okay.
PJ's
All
hot
right,
mother.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did you, dude?
Somehow
I'm-
Peg Leg Pete did well for himself, even though
He
was,
did really well for
Yeah.
himself. I'm just saying.
Peg
Yeah.
Leg Pete.
Yeah, he was Goofy's next door neighbor and was
Yeah.
married and had a son, PJ, who was friends with Max, so they went to
Yeah.
school together. And that, yeah,
His
the
mom
Goof
always
Troop.
wore spandex.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did-
the mom always
did-
wore spandex.
Did Goofy get married?
Well, you
Did he have
know,
a kid?
well, here's the thing. Now, the character of Max predates my generation. So Max has existed in the Disney universe, but I don't know what the backstory or the canon is on Max's
I don't think
mom.
many people do, honestly.
I'd have to Google that before Kristen comes running in to give us all the history lesson on Disney. But
Oh, she's the expert, huh? Okay.
she knows these types of things. Geef, also known as Mrs. Goof, was the late wife of Goofy and mother of Max Goof. Okay, so there's a dead mother that I don't know that.
I always figured that Goofy and what was it, Clarabelle Cloud got it on. I didn't, and had Max. I don't.
Because there's also certain Goofy shorts that had Goofy as a human.
So in the 1950s, there was a Mrs. Goof or Mrs. Geef, Geef.
Right, because he was Mr. Geef in those series of shorts where they
And
were
then
humans.
on significant, that was the wife. Significant other is Clarabelle Cow,
Huh.
Glory B, Zenobia. Jesus. Oh, in Italian comics. Children, Max Goof. Hot damn. Appeared in 1951 Fathers Are People as Goofy Jr.
Yeah, Max.
Oh, here we go. There is a widespread misconception that the television series Goof Troop once declared her to have passed away through unknown circumstances
Oh, and that's
prior to the
1992.
series beginning, with Goofy supposedly telling Max that she's up there with the stars or up there amongst the stars. However, this statement was never given in any episode of Goof Troop, as Max's mother was never once mentioned in the show. Officially, when asked about the subject of Max's mother, Disney's guest services once declared there to be no definitive answer as to who Max's mother is and where Mrs. Goofy went.
Oh.
Both Glory Bee and Penny Pooch are candidates for the mysterious Mrs. Geef. Glory Bee due to her being around longer than Penny and has been known to have dated Goofy, and Penny due to her red hair and nose, which is how Mrs. Geef is described. Neither have been seen recently. So Goofy's been known to date. There's supposedly a
So
Mrs.
they leave
Geef.
him, you think, or
So somehow,
Uh,
somehow Goofy became a single father and has a child, Max, and it's unclear what exactly the history is that led to Goofy being a single dad. But canon is that Goofy's a single dad.
We are learning so much on this episode.
So much about 1950s culture.
it's fine.
well,
you can watch all. You can watch.
Goof Troop was 90. What did I say? 92.
Yeah, but the characters
Yeah,
were
sure.
were
Okay, before
pre-existing.
And you can watch almost all of those shorts if you have Disney Plus. You can watch almost all of them now.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I bought the DVD of the Christmas episode, so we watch the Christmas episode of Goof Troop every year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's great. There's this one scene where they're in the cabin, they're going to go out skiing, and they ask Peg Leg Pete if he wants to join them, but he gets like some clumsy accident that Goofy kicks off, results in him getting hit on the head and knocked out. And oh, he's sleeping, and you just see him there passed out with the Goofy.
Yeah, that sounds about
Sleeping
right.
or dead?
That's about right. He's sleeping.
And he always called his wife Peach Pit. That was another
Yeah.
oh, Peach Pit.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a nice nickname.
No, he meant it. He meant it endearingly.
Yeah. I mean,
did.
he had
He
two
always
kids with
called
her.
his wife Peach.
So
Pit. Yeah.
he had PJ and what was the
So
little
the younger
girl's
sister.
name?
Well, I guess
Yeah.
that worked for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget PJ's sister's name, but yeah.
Oh well. So, I got a package stolen today, and
Oh.
I'm a little
No.
worried about this. Yeah, off my deck.
Oh my God. Was it the
well-
guy who took the sun tea?
Well, they're not going to be happy with this package. It's okay. This package. Let's just say I get the poop in a jar, and send it back.
Oh, you bought poop in a jar?
No, I get it's a home kit. I get the poop in a jar and send it back.
Oh, so they stole your jar.
They stole the kit.
They stole your poop in a jar kit.
Okay, so I was supposed to get colon testing. You know, the colon cancer testing,
Sure.
my physical, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, you could go you could do it in house. And they laser if they find anything, right, all in one. You know, I was hoping to get the video to put it on YouTube. That didn't happen. So then all of a sudden I get this message from Cologuard saying, we're sending you a thing. Oh, okay. So, and they needed things, so I sent them things, and they go, okay, it'll be here. So today, I look, and I'm like, oh, look, it's supposed to be here. I walk outside, it's not there.
So,
And then I see someone running to their car.
quick question.
What?
So, in the ads for Cologuard, it
Yeah.
comes in a big box. Does it really come in a big box like that?
Yeah, it comes in a pretty big box because there's a jar, there's a jar, there's a tube, there's an apparatus to stick on the toilet, stick on the potty, so you can put the jar inside the potty, and then you can poop in it, but make sure not to get urine in it, and that's what they said. And I'm like, well, that's two different ends, so I don't know.
What if you got the green apple splatters? Do you have to wait until things firm up to use it, or do you just
No. You're supposed to use it within 4 days of getting it.
Oh, so if you got the splatters, that's
what they're getting.
That's what they're getting.
That's what they're getting. And then you stick the thingy in there, and you put the solution in it, and you twirl it around, and you stick it back in the tube, and then you send it in. And I'm like, well, okay, they get everything because I don't know.
So just to clarify, because
What?
the story we all want to hear is that they stole the package when you packed
Yes,
it back
they
up
stole-
with the
yes, yes.
return label on
Yeah.
it.
Yes, they stole the poop kit, guys. I'm sorry.
They sold it pre-use or post-use.
No, I haven't used it yet. If I used it, if
Oh.
I had used it,
Yeah.
I
it would
laugh
suck to
my
have to do
ass
it
off.
again.
No.
Go ahead.
You know how I send it back? I have to go to UPS and put it back in the box and send it to UPS and say, "Here's my poop. Enjoy."
Oh, I'd just leave it on the front step and let the fun begin. But
I just
oh, I so wish they stole it.
Is the Cologuard box labeled like in the
It's
TV
in a box.
ad?
It's in another box. I mean, it's in a shipping box, right?
Someone just saw that
it's-
like, oh, that's a big box.
It's in a
It's got to be
plain
something
box,
good.
so it
Yeah.
doesn't say Cologuard.
Yeah.
And it comes with the instructions,
Yeah.
so they're going to open it up. They're going to be like, "What's this?" And they're going to read about how to set this up in a toilet and poop in it.
Yep.
Is,
It actually comes with
I-
it comes with an adapter. There's a whole instructional video on YouTube, so you can watch the whole instructional video.
So
how to
they
use
have
it.
the link to the YouTube video. Now,
I like Kaiser's method.
yeah.
You get this
There-
little
there you
flat envelope that's got this little skinny vial,
Yeah.
and you do your business, and you take the little thing out of the little vial, and you twirl it around on your poop in the toilet. Stick
I
it
get the
back
poop in the
in.
jar for this one. Oh, and then the parts that you don't use, you get to throw away. So
Oh.
But you're going to
Yeah,
send it back because you want them to recycle it.
Well, he's got to get a new one now, doesn't he?
Well,
yeah,
I mean, normally.
I think I have to get a new one now. What do I do? Call Cologuard and say someone stole my poop kit? What do I do?
That's what you have to do.
I mean,
You know,
Or do you-
whoever takes that call,
or
you're
do you-
going to make their day.
or
That is a story.
Did your doctor order it?
yeah, they ordered it, and then I had to talk
Tell-
to them
tell
on the
your
phone.
doctor, hey, it was stolen.
Yeah,
You
no,
have them
well, no,
send another.
I have the Cologuard people. I have to call them and say, yeah, someone
Okay.
stole it. So yeah,
Okay.
which you know,
So if someone sends it in, that's not my poop.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't test
Somebody-
that one.
That's someone else's
Oh.
poop. Sorry.
Oh,
That'd be funny if they use it, just send it in just to fuck with
You're like,
everyone.
it's poop in a jar and
that's
I
not
don't know.
mine.
Well, I stole it. I got to use it
Yeah,
now.
but you do
Or-
have to sign the paperwork to go with it, right?
If they bring it back, don't open it.
don't open it.
Don't open it. It's
If I do, make sure it's Monday on the show.
Oh my God.
I'll make sure to even put a camera on.
Now, dude has a deal for you. Dude wants to buy you a Ring or Nest doorbell, but then let us have access to the account.
Oh God.
Yes.
Well, maybe, but oh no.
So, anyways, I have not nearly as entertaining a shipping story, which I've already told yesterday.
I didn't hear,
But
so, I didn't hear
How,
most of the show
how
yesterday,
could you
so.
get anywhere close to that one, right?
I couldn't. I mean, I was just waiting up for a TV to show up. But so I went on eBay looking for, because I'm getting to a point with my Pi that I'm getting it to do cool things. And so it's like, all right, it's time to get a vintage TV to connect to my Pi. And it's got to be small, got to be some kind of little portable model that'll sit nice on the kitchen counter. And it's got to have a chunk channel switch, because my ultimate goal is to replace the chunk channel switch with something that connects directly to the Pi, so I can control programming from a analog TV dial. That is the goal. I'm still a ways away from that. It's hard to find a chunk TV that isn't priced over $100.
Oh yeah, like they had the
They're
not the
collectible
Sony
now.
Watchmans, but
Where'd
they
you
had
get
the
it?
big. I'm sorry, Brian. What?
A watch is good, but they don't have a clunk, do they?
No.
No.
Watchman's
The
How
Watchmen
about,
was
how
a
about
cool-
like a Zenith 13-inch TV?
Well, that's a little bigger than I was looking for a kitchen
I was thinking
counter.
those long.
but
remember the
I'd
long
take
ones?
one.
Remember those long ones?
I
There's
don't,
that-
unfortunately, I don't have one anymore, but that's what I used. That's
Well-
what I had for a long time.
What was, here's the thing. Most TVs of the 70s, early 80s had two dials. But the one we had one dial that had a few extra channels past 13 and controls inside of the panel that you would dial in the handful of UHF channels that came in your area.
Oh, so you just kind of tweak it to get the VHS channel you wanted.
What? Right. Well,
UHF. Yeah.
Well, ours, mind you, I grew up in the greater New York City area, which is all VHF channels: CBS on 2, NBC on 4, Fox on Metro Media on 5, ABC 7, WROR, which became UPN, which I don't know what that is now, on 9. Pix 11, which became WB, which is now CW, and then PBS on 13.
That's interesting, because in Hartford, they had a channel 30, which I think was NBC, so that was UHF. And then, like, why is that one UHF and all the others are VHF?
Well, it has to do with licensing and airspace and stuff that that's above our pay grade.
Complicated,
But
and probably too close to New York to have to have another VHF channel.
But if you could get in some Philadelphia channels, then you might dial in like channel 17 or I think 17 or 29 was the Fox affiliate out of Philadelphia. Because I remember New York's would have the little jingle, "It's on Fox 5, oh yeah," and then Philadelphia got, "It's on Fox 29," which was not as dearly exciting.
Isn't it 13 is the highest VHF? Is that right?
That is highest VHF, and then 14
we had a
to
channel
80
13 that
something
for a while. For a while was a subscription TV, so you needed a special box to decode it.
we
Which is
had.
kind of bizarre.
So
And then it got rid of basically the pay-per-view. I mean, that was early, that was 1960, right?
basically, if I could
And
find,
then it became a religious channel.
Hmm.
And I remember watching this guy. He was the preacher, all dressed in white and had white hair, and he would kind of prance around, looking like the cops are ready to take him out because they haven't paid their rent or blah 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 blah. So he was basically begging for donations. It was just surreal.
So, go ahead, Mars.
Oh, I was gonna say our TV. We had a Zenith TV, one of the console TVs from '74, and our family had that was our first color TV, and it was I think it was a Zenith. It had the big knob on the top. It had the knob on the top, which had 1 through 12, and then it had the U, and then you go to U, and then the big chunk on the bottom and go with the little ticks that you go all the way
Right.
around. On.
That was most common of the time.
Yeah.
But I tell you, finding a single dial that has extra U channels to manually dial in, those are apparently were not as common because you don't see those a lot when looking for the vintage TVs. But the 2 dials are there. It's easy to find 2 dial TVs. It's hard to find them priced reasonably. I mean, 20 years ago, these are things that were out on the curb. You just drive around, pick one up.
Right.
Now you can find the Sony Vegas on the curb,
But
and
yeah.
no one wants to pick those up.
But anyways, so finding a little mini TV with rotary dial, and not pay over $100 is a little challenging. And I thought I had found a secret to doing this because I'm looking on eBay, and also the other thing, most people that have these TVs, they don't even want to plug them in. They just sell them as is, or if they plug them in, they take a picture of them getting in static, but they don't know if it's color or black and white. Because the static is black and white. I keep looking at these TVs and I'm like, that's a cool looking TV, but is it color or is it black and white?
Well, do they give you the model number?
Yes, and if you Google the model number, you might find information or you might not. There have been a number of eBay listings I was looking at that I could not conclusively determine if it was color or black and white. So that was a challenge. But anyway,
so you're going for color.
Yes.
Okay, so you wouldn't want my old Zenith TV if I still had it, because that was black and white.
Depends. You'd have to send me a picture.
Again, I don't have it, so.
Well, so this is a moot point.
Theoretical.
You're right. Theoretically, I don't want it.
Right.
So, anyways, I find this TV that fits the bill look-wise, and it's under $50, but it's not a buy it now, it's an auction, which it's not like I avoid auctions, but when you look on eBay, there are way more buy it nows than auctions. Generally, the way eBay haggling works nowadays is set a buy it now at a high price that you'd take or accept best offers and haggle that way from interest. That seems to be
This one is just a straight auction.
This one was a straight auction, so I threw in like a $50 bid. It did not max out the bid, but I took a look at the TV listing and I saw that it was being sold by someone that's about 20 minutes from me. So I'm like, holy shit, that gives you some bargaining power because I could take that $45 shipping fee and subtract it. Because if I win this auction, I'll just tell the person, hey, dude, I'm down the street. I'll come pick it up. So I bid $65 thinking I'm going to pay $65 because they're down the street. Why would I pay $45 for a TV to come a 20-minute drive?
And if he was smart, he would say, yeah, I don't have to mess with the shipping.
Well, unfortunately, this person only knows how to sell on eBay by shipping because the auction wins. And there's 2 things that happen. First bad thing that happens, eBay now has this feature that since you have to have a PayPal account linked to it, or I don't know if you have to, but at some point it became the norm to have a PayPal account linked to eBay.
Yeah.
So they just automatically pay for the item an hour after the auction ends. So they automatically took the price plus shipping. They took $110 out of my PayPal and paid for the whole thing. So I sent a message to the seller going, hold on, don't ship it. I live nearby. I'd rather pick it up and save the $45 on shipping. And the person wrote back and said, I don't think I can do that because eBay keeps track of the tracking information to prove that's been delivered. If I give it to you, I can't prove I delivered it to you. So I Googled this. eBay does support local pickup, but you're supposed to set local pickup as an option when you list it.
Before the auction even starts.
Right.
So we're post-auction now, and I don't know what the seller's controls look like to advise them how to change it. So I basically said, look, eBay supports local pickup. You should be able to do something. if you really want to, make sure you do this right, what you could do is we could just cancel refund me. You could relist it as a buy it now for the price that we agreed on and offer local pickup, and then I complete the buy it now for $65 and I come pick it up. Or you could just refund me the money. Now, I was hoping by playing like I don't want it if you're not going to work with me, that this person would agree to the local pickup. And the person said, go ahead and do the refund. You have to cancel the auction. You have to start on your end to get the refund. And I'm like, fuck. It took me hours to find this TV, the perfect look, the perfect size and everything.
So then he went and sold it to somebody else then?
No, I said, go ahead and ship it. At that point I was bluffing, so I ended up paying the fucking $45 extra in shipping for this TV that was only 20 minutes away because this stupid seller can't figure out how to do it in person.
Yeah, sure.
So that pissed me off, but like I won the auction. I had the TV. It was in my hands, practically, figuratively. I didn't want to give it up at this point. I just wanted this person to not be a douche about it, but they were a douche about it. Made me pay shipping, so fine, whatever. Take my fucking because I'm not going to find another one just like it easily, and if I do, it's probably not going to be nearby. I'm going to have to pay over $100 anyways. So
did you get a refund or no?
No, I told them just go ahead and ship it. Okay. So they shipped it FedEx. So Saturday, I get an update that my TV is out for delivery, expected to be delivered today. So Saturday, I'm making my breakfast, got my eggs, got my bacon, got my sausage, got my coffee, and I'm, put some cheese on the eggs, got cheesy eggs. I'm eating my breakfast, and as I'm finishing up breakfast, I see a FedEx truck parked in front of my house. And I'm like, oh, cool, TV's here. I'll finish up my breakfast. I'll let this person leave the box on the porch. And, once the FedEx truck leaves, because I'm antisocial, I'll open the door, bring in the box.
Oh, see, that's what I would have gone out and said, yo, you got my TV. I'll help you carry that in.
I'm kicking myself for not doing that.
Yeah, because I do that with other people. I go, hey, I have crappy stairs. Let me carry that up for you sometimes.
Because wouldn't you know it, the dumbass leaves without delivering the package.
Oh.
Why?
They didn't want to carry it.
I never got an explanation.
I don't want to carry that crap.
No, if I asked, the answer would probably be the package was on my list, but when I went in the truck to get your package, it wasn't there. That's probably what they would tell me. I suspect they couldn't find it. And I suspect once they did find it, they didn't feel like driving back here. So,
So what did you do with it then?
They delivered it the next day.
You got it the next day. Oh,
but they pissed me off that day because they didn't even, because here's the thing. Once I saw this happen, I go check the tracking information to see what happened. Because if they come to a house to do a delivery, they're supposed to mark what happened at that transaction. So they should scan it not delivered or mark it not delivered or something like that. Although a lot of times, even when they do that, they do it for the wrong thing. Because I can't tell you how many times I've had an item that was scanned as no answer when we're here and they didn't knock. So they don't even select the right thing anytime. So you can't really expect accuracy out of tracking scans.
Sure, yeah. He goes with no answer because
he went with nothing
to tell the truth.
Right.
He didn't want to for it. So next time you see the FedEx truck, you're just gonna run out and grab the guy by the throat. Where's my box? Where's my TV?
Well, I'm gonna initiate friendly banter. Go, hey, how's it going?
Usually I get to know the people that come to my door. I usually talk to them and say hi and stuff, and then they know where I live and who I am.
Except the guy that stole your Cologuard box.
Well, that I don't talk to the poop thieves, but it's okay.
Oh, we need to track these guys down, have them on the show.
I
want to talk to the poop thieves.
Talk to the poop thieves.
I think I'm going to start shipping dirty underwear to Mr. Mars.
No, I don't want that.
You ever watch the Glitter Bomb
videos?
You'll
recognize the box, you ship it back. So we'll just ship it back and forth.
You just keep shipping the box back and forth like a fruitcake.
Until it gets stolen.
Until it gets stolen.
That's definitely not a fruitcake, but it might taste the same.
Oh my!
What did you say, Gators? Have I ever watched what?
Those glitter bomb.
Oh, I
videos.
love that guy. I love that guy.
Yes.
Has
yes.
he done a new one this year?
I think the last one was the last one he was going to do. I think he's retiring the bit.
Oh, is he retired? Oh, that's a shame. He did
But-
something. What you can always.
But
do
he
so
might
much.
change his mind. I mean, how many times has Cher gone on one last tour?
Well, he also does the thing at the jungle gyms and stuff in
With
the
the
backyard for the squirrels,
eagles,
right?
right?
Yes. Yes. Them
How
too.
many final tours was the Eagles have the year?
Well, it's a great way to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But,
98 Degrees is going to be touring. Is going to be in my area. I'm like, I don't know if I want to see him, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyways, I checked the tracking information after the truck left without delivering the package to see like if it was misdelivered or if there's a picture of it on my neighbor's porch or something like that. And no, it's marked as still out for delivery, and FedEx lets you track the truck. So I click the thing and it pulls up a map and it shows the truck going further away from my house down further south. You know, it shows it driving around and Pawtucket, shows it driving around like Providence, and then shows it coming back to Seekonk, and then they're done. So yeah, so that's when I started reaching out to the FedEx support through Twitter, like, hey, what the fuck? Why didn't your guy deliver my package? And they're like, it's out for delivery. You should get it before by the end of the day. And I'm like, no, it's not out for delivery to me anymore.
Tomorrow. That's when usually Amazon
The truck
does.
was here. The truck left here. The truck is driving further from here. Any idiot can look at this situation and see that this guy's not bringing me my TV today. What happened? We're very sorry, sir. It's out for delivery. It should be delivered by the end of the day. I almost wanted to ask them to write me a poem about a tangerine. But,
Oh.
yeah. Have you heard
So
about that
I
one?
was just looking up Final Fantasy. They're up to Final Fantasy.
They're 16 or 17 now, right?
Yeah.
They're 16, I think, is the new
Isn't
one.
that bizarre?
It's a good game. I've watched people play it.
I was never big on those games.
I should try it. I mean, hey, if it's up to 16, then it must be good.
So, anyways, I got no answer from FedEx, and that
Oh.
just at the
They
end of the
didn't
day,
answer they didn't answer your tweets?
well, their bot sent me runaround messages, and
Did
then
you DM them and say, I need information?
well, they asked me to DM them, so I slid into their DMs, and it was not sexy, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, no.
Did
And,
you offer to send them pics?
They would not answer my questions, and then ask if I need anything else, if there's anything else they could help me with. It's like
If you
well,
offer them pics, maybe they might have answered you.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. You can
Anyway,
send them pictures of your socks.
I could have done that.
Yeah.
Apparently, 16 is the latest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, it got marked at the end of the day as not delivered. Will be delivered next business day. But I don't know what the next business day means.
Usually Sunday for delivery.
Well, yeah, because I thought maybe Sunday was the Lord's Day, and they would.
Dude.
But they deliver Sunday. So I did get it on Sunday. And,
You did get it. Okay.
I did get it. I
You
absolutely
make a
did
short
get it.
story long, as
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah, well, you helped. You certainly
Of
helped.
course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, so there it is on my table, playing card
Now,
sharks.
does it clunk, clunk, clunk like you like?
It does clunk, 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 but I've not done anything with the clunk, clunk, clunk.
Wait, it's
yet.
playing
So
card
far, you
sharks
get
right
one
now?
channel.
Yeah, I get channel 3 on an RF modulator that I
Oh, do you have the one with the little switch on it that goes from 2 and 3?
I got the Raspberry Pi on yeah, it's got the 3 and 4 switch.
Oh yeah, little switch. Those. Yeah, I have one of those. It
It's
has the
actually
two
not too.
prongs.
It's not
Yeah.
too shabby when we're not getting glare from your light.
Yeah, it's hard. It doesn't pick up very well on this camera. But yeah, it is. I'm basically using the Raspberry Pi Linux OS to play my network TV tuner through the VLC.
So what
video.
Yeah.
brand is the thing?
Oh, it's a General Electric.
Oh, it's a G.
And I take it does have sound.
Yes, it does actually. I can if I come over to my VNC session into here and unmute the VLC player.
Oh, nice little buzz too.
Well, that's some interference on the microphone from the
Yeah.
TV signal when I move it in closer. But yeah, it has sound, and it
Nice.
And the
So-
nice thing about a CRT TV, you can get a tan.
you can what?
Well,
You can get a
no.
tan.
Yeah, I guess you can. Now it does have some. I've gotten in an adequate picture on it, but one of the problems is that the picture was very blurry. But there is a focus adjustment on the back of the TV, and I had to turn the focus adjustment all the way up to the very end to get it to be somewhat in focus. So I have a feeling that when this TV is in optimal condition, that it focuses somewhere more in the middle of the range of that.
So you think
So-
you'll have to change some caps?
I think I have to change some caps. But the other
no.
cool thing is that it comes with an instruction booklet that is stored in a compartment attached to the TV that can only be opened by disassembling the TV and releasing the latch to open it up to ensure that only a qualified technician accesses that document.
Are you
and-
qualified?
Sure.
I mean, you opened a Philco, so I think you're pretty qualified.
I'm qualified enough. I
Yeah.
did actually open it up and get the booklet out to peruse it a bit, and it's
I know. Let's all do a thing where we say, Johnny, you are qualified.
Thank you.
Yours is very qualified.
That's
So-
good. How about people in the chat? Do you think that Johnny is qualified?
That's a good question. We'll let them answer. So, sure enough, it's a little booklet that unfolds like a big map,
Ooh, you got a map.
and it's two-sided. One side's got all your instructions for how to calibrate and adjust things, and then the other side has a full schematic for the whole thing. So I've got schematic and calibration instructions built into the TV in a
That's
little booklet.
because they went with right to repair.
They did. Well, no, they. The thing is, though, is that
Right for you to hire a technician.
right to hire a technician is what they did. Here, let me see if I can get a picture of this.
Does any car manufacturer sell the shop manual for other cars today
I don't
to the
know.
customers?
I don't think so.
I mean, you go to Chilton, and Chilton's minimal.
All right, here we go. I'm going to upload that to my Dropbox.
How do you? You said you had an RF adapter. You have the modulator that goes into the two-prong E to the coax, and the coax to
yes.
HDMI.
No. The Raspberry Pi 3B has a AV output on the 3.5 millimeter jack.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
It does.
Yeah, so I'd only
Yeah.
so yeah, a Raspberry Pi 5 is not going to do me any good.
No,
I think the 4 has that connector as well, but the 3 is adequate for what I'm doing. So if I
Yeah.
bought another Pi, I'd buy another 3. The 3B is perfectly fine for this type of thing, so I might buy a few of them.
Right.
But yeah, I got the 2-screw adapter to a coaxial, and then the coaxial cable going to the RF modulator, and then AV coming out the Pi's 3.5 millimeter into the RCA AV connectors on the. So yeah, it's a bit of a. Eventually, I'd like to figure out. Usually, it is possible to add a composite input to a vintage TV. I've seen YouTube videos where people add composite inputs to TVs. That depends on the model. There's no one size fits all modification for that. So I'm gonna have to do a little research.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately I want to find a spot inside the case to mount the Pi, and
And the
rig
nice
up
thing is the Pis are hella small, so it's not a big deal.
and wire the Pi directly to a modded point that I would have a composite input. And at that point, the channel controller would no longer need to be functional to change anything on the TV, because it would just be a monitor with composite input at that point. And then I would replace it with some kind of a rotary knob that would also tie into the Pi. Now, the tricky thing is I'd want the Pi to be powered with the TV, which would require getting 5 volts DC power to the Pi as
Oh,
well
good luck.
off of the that might be that actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there are voltages in a power supply. I might be able to find a way to get 12-volt DC off of there. The tricky part is the shutdown process, because you don't want to just pull the power on the Pi and have it go. So you'd want to have some kind of a relay thing that when you turn off the TV, that the Pi is still powered and initiates a shutdown process. I don't know if anyone else has done it.
Well, there
Well,
are scripts.
actually, that's something that's out there. You can just Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are scripts that when the power goes out, it'll automatically go and we it'll start a shutdown process for it. There are
But you
scripts
have to
can-
have some kind of power source still providing power to the Pi
Sure.
after the power
Yeah.
goes out.
Maybe like a battery.
Right, some kind of a battery that recharges itself without burning itself out.
Now,
Or-
with my
or-
Pi.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say with my Pi 4, I got a I bought the Cana kit for it, and it actually came with it's a USB-C to USB-C adapter that you plug in, and it has a switch that goes on and off on that, and so you actually shut it off with that, and then you run a script. You run a script on your Pi, so when you push that button, it'll shut it down safely. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've already made a power button for the Pi that I can shut down with a button
Okay.
press.
And
It's
the 5s
just-
automatically have them in it. Well, that's kind of neat.
It'd be easy to rig
Yeah.
up a relay to send a shutdown command from the power switch.
Mm-hmm.
The tricky part would be having 12-volt power supplied to it. That I guess I could make an always-on 12-volt off of the power supply if there was a way to tap into that that's not impacted by the control. Well, then the tricky thing is I want to make sure it doesn't get out of sync, because
Yeah.
so I'd have to have a different GPIO for power on versus shutdown to make sure that it doesn't just rely on this, because I had a button that was one button that turns it on and off, which means if you get out of sync, you get to a point where turning on the TV turns off the Pi, and turning off the TV turns the Pi back on.
How are you getting in it? Do you have that connected to Ethernet exactly, or is it connected via
It's on Wi-Fi.
it's on Wi-Fi? Okay, because
Yeah.
I was saying there might be a PoE thing, GPIO thing you can add to it, but I don't think you want that.
No. Basically, I'd probably find a way to tap off of the power supply to get 12-volt DC always on, and just set up some kind of a relay thing to have to GPIOs to initiate a boot sequence when turning the knob on.
Hey, Sparky.
So Sparky just says, "Yo, yo,
Yeah.
yo."
Yeah.
So he missed the whole what Mars lost conversation.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mars.
yeah.
Poor guy.
Sparky, someone stole my poop kit in the
Someone's-
mail.
They stole the poop sack.
Well, it's a jar.
It's a jar.
It's a poop
Well, I
jar.
got the whole box.
I got to poop in a jar and send it back in, and someone stole it. So
Someone
off my
stole-
deck.
Now we all wish they stole it after he
It
put
might have
the
been
return
Sparky. He
label.
says D.
I
I don't know.
That's a D with a cold. That's a the audacity.
The audacity.
Well, I mean, I didn't have it filled, so
While they're running away, you should have
That
yelled.
would've been better.
While they're running away, you should have yelled, "Are you the guys that stole my tea?"
oh god. Yeah, it's like, hey, I haven't filled that yet. Just a second.
Come in for some tea. I'll get
So
you.
next time you put out tea, you poop in the jar first.
Next time I put out tea, I'm gonna freaking put I'm gonna put a tracker on it and see where it goes. Stick it in the lid or something.
But yeah.
Yeah,
so-
I hope you have a shitty day.
Okay, Sparky wins the internet
Yeah,
for
he
the day.
wins today.
I can't believe none of us thought of that. It was right there.
Exactly.
Thank you, Sparky. Thank you for adding to our poop
Oh,
joke of the
my.
day.
Do you think the power supply on that TV will be able to handle another 5-volt though? Draw? Or would you have to add something to it?
Oh, that's right. It'd be a 5-volt. I don't know. I really don't know. I would think a little 5-volt Pi power is probably not that big a deal.
Yeah, you could just tap it into the AC power. Just a regular.
Well,
tap.
I'd hope some parts of this are taking DC already. That I could just because obviously the Pi is not going to run on AC.
Or the other thing, you get a 5-volt regulator.
Yeah, I could just add something onto the AC input and do my own add-on power. I don't know. I'll have to ask around, see what other people are doing. But that's many steps away. I'll probably try to get this working with the Pi hidden outside of the box somewhere, connected to the rotary knob through before I start getting to the point of mounting things inside.
Yeah,
Well, that would be
yeah.
definitely the tricky part for sure.
Yeah, baby steps. You know, I've the next part is the software programming thing because I got that.
Well,
app.
then the thing is the Pi puts out to channel 3 through your RF modulator. How do you change that?
Well, that's another thing I mentioned earlier that generally there are ways that you could add a composite input to a vintage TV. If you figure out where on the schematic to add that in, it should theoretically be able to add in a composite input and disable the tuner from going into that. That way, I would connect the Pi directly to the modified composite input that I added to the board.
Yeah, but then you've taken the tuner out of the mix.
Right.
How does that work?
Well, then I replace the knob with another knob that controls the Pi.
Yeah. So basically, the knob would just control up and down. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Of course. It just tells the
Yeah.
Pi, let's
There
go
goes
to
Sparky
this
says it.
channel.
5-volt regulator. Now I might have to add in another module that will take the input or data from the new rotary knob and transmit it to commands to the Pi. I think generally when I've seen that done, it's done with an extra component. So I'd have to figure that out.
Just a second. Something pounded on my deck. Maybe my poop jar is back.
Maybe they decide we don't want that.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Like I said, don't open that box. They might have used it. If they bring it back, just walk it right over to the dumpster.
Or if you can't tell, set the camera up so we can watch it.
Yeah, we got to get that. Dune offered the Ring doorbell in exchange for us.
No,
having
just
access to the feed.
watch him open up live.
Oh, there we go.
And if something goes wrong, we'll just call 911.
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Did they
Yeah.
return the box?
No, but I heard a thud at my door, like something hit it, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe they threw it back at me, but nothing's there.
Oh,
Sad.
that is sad.
Oh well.
Maybe just as well.
I don't know if I want it back now, do I?
Yeah, no. If I got that back, I wouldn't even open the box. I'd walk it right to the dumpster and just keep, not even tell anyone that they brought it back. I just continue waiting for my replacement.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what they did with that before they brought it back.
You're like, hey, look, they filled it for me. I can send that in now.
No.
No.
I'm not opening that. Now, of course, all of us would like you to open it if they do bring it back, but you got to turn
I'll
your
make sure the
camera
camera's
on.
on if if
Yes.
they bring it back. I will make sure I'm going to say here, I'm recording this just for you guys.
Invite them in.
I'm not inviting anybody in because I don't want to know what's coming from that the poop came from.
We want to interview them. We want to find out who are the people that steal poop jars.
You want to interview the porch pirates that stole my poop jar.
Yeah.
Okay.
We interviewed the convict in the parking lot. So now we got to interview the
Well,
poop
that was
thief.
also with venison. So
Yeah, it was venison was
I'm not venison, thank goodness.
Venison's neighbor's Wi-Fi went down. So this is when he had a car, so he went driving looking for a Wi-Fi signal. So he disappeared from the show, and then he shows up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm out here in the parking lot. I found a Wi-Fi signal out here." And he was just hanging out in the store's parking lot, leaves out the Wi-Fi. And so we're like, "Well, you got to find someone to interview." And so he started calling people over. Most of them just kept walking away, looking at him funny.
Well, would you walk away? I mean, also, you see venison in a parking lot in a car. Would you walk away?
If I
Yeah,
was a local, yeah.
Here's this black guy in a car at night.
Well, most of the people in the parking lot were black guys too.
Oh
at
well,
night,
okay,
so-
that's different.
But I also don't think I would have stopped. I was like,
So what kind of
guy
outfit
and a,
had Wi-Fi outside of McDonald's?
it was like a Walgreens or something. I thought.
yeah,
but,
I think it was a Walgreens.
Okay.
yeah. But the guy that stopped and came over, we were asking him what was going on, who he was. And he mentioned something like, "Well, I just got out of prison," and
Oh.
and that's when Venison noticed the ankle monitor that was beeping, and so me on the speaker phone on his laptop, not caring at all how the situation
Because
unfolded.
you're how many miles away?
I
You
was
care.
many miles away. I said, "Well, what were you in prison for?" And he said, "For guns." And I said, "For having them or using them?" And that was when he walked away. And
Oh.
I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
he
that
decided,
was-
I've already given away too much information.
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't want to talk about his prison sentence, so he got out of there. But Sparky writes in, "Glad I don't have that problem. The only animal who might take my poop bag is a deer or a raccoon or a squirrel or groundhog."
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
There
have
is that.
raccoons in the dumpster outside sometimes.
That does happen.
Good thing you don't have a Cybertruck because the raccoons love those things.
Do
You
they?
know, raccoons got to watch out for drunk guys. 'Cause,
Well, yeah.
well, the good thing about drunk guys is they have bad aim. The bad thing is that doesn't stop them. Because me and the guys that I drank with back in my last few years in New Jersey before I moved out of my parents' house, Saturday nights I'd always go drinking with the guys: Pete, Jim, Josh, Daryl.
People you don't
Mike.
talk to anymore.
Yeah, I don't talk to any of them anymore. But so we'd all go over. These are guys I worked with at the garbage company. Well, Pete was the guy I worked with at the garbage company, and then Pete kind of pulled me into his fold and introduced me to his brother, his friend, his neighbor, and the guy down the street. And we all would, go over to his house on Saturday, play horseshoes, and drink 30 packs of Bud, and then figure out who was the least drunk to go pick up another 30 pack of Bud when we ran out.
Oh, I was just wondering, did you throw any horseshoes through any windows or
Oh, no,
at people
no.
or?
No, there wasn't. But
And raccoons.
But one night, it gets to the point that we run out of Budweiser, and we're not done drinking yet, but all the liquor stores are closed. So it turned into one of those evenings that we took a walk down the street to the Ooh La La's to have a little bit of drink and dancing entertainment. We did not have our I Voted stickers on.
If you had your I Voted stickers, you would have had a better night.
Yeah, we would have had a better night, but we we hung out at Ooh La La's and enjoyed the company and tipped the dancers and drank some beers. And after they closed down for the night, we made our way out of the bar and stumbled our way back to Pete's house. And as we got to Pete's house, Pete was doing a little bit of work on his house. So he had a dumpster in the yard alongside the house where he was throwing out garbage. And there was a raccoon in the neighborhood that wanted to check out what was in the pile of garbage in the dumpster. So we got back there, and there's a raccoon just perched there on top of the garbage pile. Pete was very offended by this because what the hell is this raccoon doing on my garbage? That's my garbage. It's not your garbage. And so Pete went inside and produced some sort of a crossbow type weapon with an arrow in it. The problem with a crossbow with an arrow in it is it's got one shot. And I don't know if Pete just didn't know where the other arrows were or didn't care to go find them or what the deal
I figured
was.
one would be enough.
Yeah.
He thought one would be enough.
But that was enough to disarm him.
But mind you, this was 2 or 3 30 packs of Bud plus a visit to the titty bar later. So Pete's aim was not in its prime. And
What?
so
It's not.
No, it was not. And so he aimed, he fired, and he missed, and the raccoon went up the tree. Now, you'd think that'd be the end of it, because raccoon's off the garbage now, raccoon's up the tree. Game over. No, Pete didn't want this raccoon coming back down out of the tree back into his garbage.
What would he have
and
done if he actually shot him?
so there was this punk ass kid that would sometimes come around and bully me a bit while hanging out with us because he figured out who the
Oh.
weakest was and pick on him. What was his name? I think his name was like Carl or something like that. He sometimes he did
How can you
shots.
have a punk kid named Carl?
I don't know, but he was. It was Jersey.
Okay.
But he had a paintball gun. So he brought out the paintball guns and here, try this. We poor raccoon had some yellow paint on it by the end of the night. But
Yeah, how many of you guys had yellow paint on you at the end of the night too?
Was he after he got first shot? Did he start running away?
Well, at this point it was trapped up the tree. They were shooting up the tree. It was making noises. It was I don't know how it eventually ended. All I want to say is I do not endorse this story. I was merely an observer and could do nothing to stop it. So
I'm just saying that raccoon is gonna be peed, and it probably did some stuff after the fact.
Sparky,
To tell you the truth, here's where I thought the story was going.
yeah.
So he found the raccoon on the trash. Instead of getting his crossbow, he'd just whip it out and he's going to pee on him.
That would have it was a large dumpster that would have taken a ladder, maybe. But
Oh, okay. Well,
You
Yeah.
just
You
have
never
to do
know.
some geometry
Quite a
and
high
figure out
arc.
your art.
even still, you'd be marking your trash, right?
you would be. You absolutely
now,
would
Gators,
be.
you just do your geometry and get your arc tangents out and write some stuff on paper, and you can do it.
Yeah. Sparky writes in, wait, so Johnny was picked out as the weakest one? Oh, easily, hands down. I was
Oh, poor Gators.
I was barely accepted in this fold. I think Pete took pity on me for being a bit
Right.
of a social outcast. And so when I turned 21, he's like, yeah, come over, drink with us. We'll make a man
Well,
out of you.
either that or is another person to buy beer.
Yeah,
for a
that
bail.
too. Another guy to send
Yeah.
for the beer run because he might, take a slower pace than us, and he so. But those guys, oh God, those guys. One time I'm over there at Pete's house. We're all over there, and mind you, this is one of these situations where married life and drinking life sometimes hilariously or unhilariously collide. Like there was one time I call up Pete and Pete's like, yeah, come on over, bring a case. I'm like, all right, I'll be right there. So I drive over there and I knock on the door and his wife answers and she's not happy to see me. She's like, Jesus Christ, get in here before someone sees you.
Oh,
He had a little son, like a little 5-6-year-old, and
Oh.
he was having his birthday party with all the kids over, and it was right around the end of the birthday party when all the parents are coming around to pick up the kids, and so the last thing she wanted the parents to see was one of her husband's drinking buddies bringing a case of beer into this kids party.
well,
So-
maybe they think you're no good. Our kids will sleep well tonight.
So Pete and Jim were out picking up. I don't know what they were, but they weren't
Probably
there.
picking up more beer.
Probably picking up more beer. So they show up. She yells at him. It's like, what's the problem? You got your friend coming here, beer. People picking up the. It's like, relax. It's okay. Well, I think that was Pete's brother Jim. That's like, relax. It's okay. But now those aren't. That wasn't a direct quote. Come over, we'll make a man out of you. But I'd say that was the vibe of my friendship with Pete and those guys. Was they were older than me. I just turned 21. They were kind of toughening me up a bit. But anyways, so one time we're all hanging out, and the thing is that these guys probably normally just had some beers in the back until they're about ready to pass out, and then they all live nearby, stumble home and pass out, sleep off the hangover the next morning. But sometimes I don't know if it was because I was there or what. There was one time I was like, hey, I got a friend that's turning 21. Like, I'll bring him over. We'll drink with him. I'm like, okay. So I call up my friend. This was Genocide Rob, actually. I'm like, hey, Genocide Rob, okay, let's come hang out with Pete and my friends. You turn 21, we're all going to drink. And Rob's like, no, I don't know. I don't know those guys. I'm like, they're cool. It's fine. You know, come on. He's like, no, I'm going to hang out with John Leonard. I'm like, all right, you hang out with him. I'll catch you some other time. So now they, to prepare for this, had bought a bottle of something to do shots of, and they also stocked the fridge with Bud and Heineken, and they had, I forget what it was, Snake Bite is what they're calling this drink. And it was a shot called a Snake Bite that I know it involved lime juice. It basically involved this, alcohol or liqueur or something that you fill like the shot glass, like maybe 3/4 of the way, and then top it with some lime juice, and you do the shot. And it was good. They were going down good. But when you're doing shots and drinking beer, I think by the end of the night, we ran out of lime juice, and that didn't stop us. We were just doing straight shots without the lime juice.
Well, at the end of the night with all that, did it really matter?
I think we emptied that bottle. But I think that's the night that, and I might be mixing up my nights, but it may as well be the night for the purpose of retelling the story if I ever make a script out of this. So at some point, something pissed off Josh. Now, Josh was the neighbor that lived down the street. And so something goes on that Josh got angry. But I don't think he was angry at someone. I think he was just set off in general. So we never quite figured out exactly why all this happened. We just know it happened. So at some point, I'm in the kitchen, and I see Pete and Josh in some kind of a bear hug type activity, one of them picking the other one up off the ground. Like some kind of like a wrestling move's about to break out. And after this finishes, Josh runs out the back door and runs down the street. And at this, Pete runs out and yells after him. And we can hear him off in the distance screaming, angry, and Pete's screaming. And at some point, Pete's wife's like, Pete, get inside. Come on. They're going to call the cops on us. And he's like, whatever. So I don't know why Pete was angry at him, and Pete's not sure why Pete was angry at him. And we're not sure why he was angry at anyone. But he was still down the street screaming and screaming. And at some point, we get a call from Josh's wife. Because apparently, when Josh ran down the street, he was still angry.
Oh.
So he picked a fight with a stop sign and lost.
Oh. Well, the stop sign did say stop.
It did say stop, and he wouldn't stop. So the stop sign broke his damn hand, is what he did. What it did. So Josh shows up back at his house with a broken hand, broken bones in his hand. His wife has to take him to the hospital to deal with. So the wife calls us like, "What the hell happened? Why did Josh beat up a stop sign and break his hand?" And so they're like, "What the hell happened?" And they're like, "Yeah, what happened?" And I'm like. And Pete's so out of it, he doesn't even remember that he was just screaming at him down the street just 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, all I know is you had him in a bear hug. He ran out the back, and next thing I know, he's down the street screaming.
Ah.
Sparky writes in, stop means stop, and no means no. So, yeah, it was that type of a crowd. Oh, man. Those are some... And then there was one night that we were all hanging out at, because then Pete's brother Jim bought the house across the street from Pete. So sometimes nights we're hanging out at that house, and one night we're hanging out there, and Pete and Jim get into some kind of roughhousing thing, and Pete breaks his ankle or something.
Oh.
And so his wife and him had to get him to the hospital. I think they ended up driving him to the hospital. They ended up not calling an ambulance. They're like, no, we can get in the car. We can get ourselves there. But they had their little kid who was asleep. So I ended up staying at their house the whole night, just watching Game Show Network on their satellite TV, basically babysitting. And I don't think they came back until like 3 a.m. But,
emergency
I think it
room
was
can
probably
take a long
asleep.
time.
Yeah.
what's that?
Emergency room can take a long time.
Oh yeah. It was not quick. That was fun. Well, I was pretty much gonna crash there for the night anyways. I was drinking all night.
Besides,
Generally,
you win out of this. The kid goes to sleep. You can watch Game Show Channel all night. So there you go.
yeah, that's when because I remember, I remember watching the remake of Press Your Luck that had like the super whammies that would like the animation would actually interact with the characters. Like you'd have like the pizza maker whammy that would throw the pizza dough up in the air, and then a real slab of pizza dough actually comes down on top of the contestant.
I don't like that one.
It was like super whammy or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
not very good. I'm sorry, I did not like that version.
It didn't have the board. It had it had a different kind of board. But it was still the same concept.
It wasn't as cool.
And they had the whammies, but and then they had that like trust game. Remember that game where like at the end of the game there's the round where the team that works together, you either both agree to split the money, or you vote to backstab the opponent. And if one contestant votes to share the money, but the other one votes to backstab, then the backstabber gets the whole prize.
Wow. I don't remember that one.
But if they both vote backstab, then no one gets the money. And if they both vote share, then they share the money 50-50.
Yeah, how many people actually voted share?
Yeah. It was you know what? It's quite a good chance that you're going to get someone backstabbing the other, and they'll win. I think the probability suggests that you're better off voting backstab, but I'd vote share, because if I'm going to be on TV, I'm not going to make an ass of myself.
Okay.
But anyways, good times.
Years later, you never know who's watching you.
Yeah, I mean that could rerun forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, the show's still around.
Look at that asshole.
Exactly. Like, remember that game show, the lie detector game show?
Oh, I do remember that show.
Yeah, where the woman like admitted to not really to still being in love with her ex that she broke up with before marrying her current husband, and have being like cheating on him and unfaithful to him, and she's admitting all these things that basically is destroying her marriage. And then like the last question she's asked is, do you think you're a good person? And she said, yes, I do. And the lie detector said, nope, she's lying. And she and she lost it all. Because it was like one lie and you lost it. Because she had answered all these questions, these devastating questions, and ranked up a score.
Yeah, sure, why not? No.
And then ruin it all by saying I'm a good person. When
you know what? But that's a good rewatch. So
yeah. I'm sure you can find that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some awful TV programs over the years.
I don't know. I enjoyed the. I used to watch game shows on USA a lot when I was in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
And there was one because USA was excellent for game shows and court shows.
Oh yeah, because they would rerun $25,000 Pyramid and $100,000 Pyramid episodes back to back.
Well, they also did some originals. They did like Bumper Stumpers. That was a great show, and I miss it. You never see Bumper Stumpers anymore.
Yeah, because I remember in the summer when we did go to the lake house where I had cable because we still only had antenna. We get USA, and I'd be sitting there watching Press Your Luck, $25,000 Pyramid, $100,000 Pyramid, Joker's Wild, Tic Tac Toe.
Oh, Joker's Wild was great.
Oh yeah. What about you, Brian? What's your favorite game show?
No, everyone that you mentioned, I never watched. So won't be any of those.
Card Sharks.
Jeopardy, I think, is always good.
Okay,
that's a solid show.
You're more the intellectual.
Wheel of Fortune is kind of
game
stupid
show.
in my mind. And Let's Make a Deal. Are you shitting me?
Oh, that's entertaining.
Oh, I love that show. That was great. They come out in these crazy costumes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least there was. Let's Make a Deal was a show of people basically screwing themselves over, but it was entertaining as opposed to Deal or No Deal, which was just plain watching people screw themselves without entertainment.
Right.
Because they always pressed on too far. They're always like, I got that $1 million briefcase. No, you don't. You're bluffing your way to a prize. Know when to walk.
You know why people watch that show? Because of the women that hold the suitcases.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh,
Period.
But
There
they're
is no other-
they're clothed.
but there
Well,
was
of
also
course.
Have these people not heard of the internet?
Then there was creepy Howie Mandel that turned creepy because
There's
he
that.
doesn't, he does he doesn't like germs anymore. So
Well,
he
it's one
shaved
of
his
those-
head.
Well, he has. Have you seen the recent ads that he does for
No.
this medication that are hey, here's how you help your fix your OCD.
Now, Sparky
It's
pointing out.
interesting that he's made this turnover.
Yeah, he was a germaphobe.
unless
He,
he just likes
became a
the money.
germaphobe, which
He's
is
a
kind of a
germaphobe.
shame.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I
like-
used to love his comedy skits in the early '90s and '80s.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
was
he's
hilarious.
definitely entertaining.
Well,
Yeah.
here's something you got to Google this after the show. There was a comedy stand-up comedy show called "This Is Not Happening." I think is what it was. Let me see what it was. Yeah, "This Is Not Happening" is a TV series of stand-up comedians coming out, and they're not doing like a stand-up routine. They're basically just telling a story. Some of them are funnier than others, but there's usually, I mean, it's a stand-up comedian telling a story of from their life. It's usually got some element of humor to their telling. And Howie Mandel, well, there's one episode, and the thing is that you don't find the full episodes on YouTube. You find the full stories separated out. And so there's two that you got to watch. The first one is Howie Mandel telling a story about him taking his daughter out for like a drive someplace and what goes wrong there. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you want to find the Scott Thompson one.
Oh.
About him visiting the bathhouses and the encounter he had there.
Well, yeah.
Which
That sounds good. I'll have to watch that one.
Oh, he is. And the thing is that they both were back to back on the episode. So there's like a bit where Howie Mandel is freaking out about the fact that this isn't a set. This is a real strip club. This pole here's got smudges on it. This is what the and then Scott comes out and tells the story. He's like, I don't know. I want to smell it. I want. So you got to watch those two back to back. First the Howie Mandel, then the Scott Thompson. Both their stories
Give
are
me
great.
what's happening now. I don't want to watch you. Stop that. No, I don't want to watch. No.
What?
Give me what's happening now.
Okay,
Yeah, that's not the show.
that's not the show.
No, but it is an interesting show. It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's something to look up on YouTube after the show.
Yeah,
But,
I definitely will.
Oh yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Well, Scott Thompson's always funny.
Yeah,
I mean-
I was a big Howie Mandel fan. I really enjoyed him.
Oh yeah,
But, you
yeah.
know.
Well, I've got his album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fits like a glove.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the name of the album.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
So, do I have any more stories about those guys? Those guys. God, I haven't talked to any of them in forever.
Are they on your Facebook? Can you send them a text and say yo yo?
One of them's on my face. Daryl's on my Facebook. But we haven't talked in forever.
Oh.
So I don't know if we have
Say,
anything
hey, where
in
you at?
common anymore.
I do this small radio show on Twitch.
Well, the thing is that Daryl got a girlfriend, and that kind of separated him from the rest of the group because Daryl started dating.
You got a Yoko.
Well,
Not
not exactly. It depends
Did
on
she
how.
sing?
Well, no, she was a nurse or in nursing school.
Okay. That's harsh.
Yeah. And she was a single mother of two kids, and so when Daryl got into this relationship with Sandy, that turned into a semi-live-in type of situation because Daryl still had his home, but he spent a lot of nights at Sandy's place, so it was almost like a second home type of thing. So he wasn't officially moved in, but they were officially together and kind of living together. But she was not the type of girlfriend that would tolerate a boyfriend hanging out with the guys every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
So if you know, and so Pete, Jim, Josh are all hanging out at Pete's house. Daryl is stuck at Sandy's place. And it's not like Daryl and Sandy were doing much. They're just kind of chilling at the condo with the kids. So it's not like there's any reason for and it's not like Daryl was helping put the kids to bed or things like that. He would just be sitting there. So I would basically split my time between the places. Some weekends I'd go over to Sandy's place and hang out with Daryl watching TV, and that's all we do is sit in front of the TV, drink beer, watch TV the whole night.
Oh.
And then some nights I go over to Pete's place, hang out in the backyard, throw some horseshoes, drink beer, and then crash on his couch. Either way, I was crashing on the couch. And
Throw some horseshoes a raccoon.
That might have been a better option than the paintball gun.
Right.
But then we would have to dig the horseshoes out from the dumpster. So no, that would not be good.
If you bang it against the dumpster a couple of times, that raccoon's going to say, "I am out of here."
Yeah, because
so then you can chase the raccoon throwing the horseshoes at him.
Yeah, because none of the guys would ever go over to Sandy's place, hang out with Daryl there, and Daryl couldn't get out there. I mean, maybe he could occasionally, but usually he was stuck. Sandy wasn't going to stand for being left alone on a Saturday night with the kids. There were a few nights that I did computer work over that place. Like the one son had an older computer, and I upgraded it to Windows 98.
How old was the kid?
Preteen type of age was of the older, and then the younger
12
one
or
was
13 or something.
Yeah, the older of the two. So the other one was younger than that, more in the younger grade school range. But the funny thing there was. So, of course, this is my, depressing single life era of time. I just, because mind you, all my friends are, I don't know what Jim's story was, but Josh is married, Pete's married, Daryl's got the serious girlfriend, and I can't even get a phone number from a stripper at the club. But
no, man. Good thing.
I can't even get a fake number. I got an email address. That's all.
There's nothing wrong with email. You could have looked them up on MSN Messenger or something.
Oh, no.
Is that screw you at yahoo.com?
No, it looked like a real email address, but she never replied. But she was very friendly because I was tipping well that night. But yeah, no, I was a. I guess the term sexually frustrated gets thrown out, but it wasn't about that. I wanted a relationship. I wanted the whole deal. I always did. And I was not very socially adept at meeting women or, getting anywhere with that. So,
wow. Sparky just throws a number out there. You go Gators.
617. No, it was 717.
717, I see.
Oh, God. There was a dorm room at Lebanon Valley College that was 717-867-5309. And they eventually retired that number.
That's a shame, too. That's great.
I
mean, they could have done like a good answer machine message.
They could have. One time we got Andrew from Take It or Leave It to call the number because Andrew was looking for numbers to prank. So I said, call 717-867-5309. Ask for Jenny. And he calls up the number, and the guy's very dismissive, like, no, you got the wrong number, dude. No, there's no Jenny there? No. And Andrew's like, Gators, what was that? That sucked. That was the wrong number, man. What the hell was that? And then I'm like, the number, look at and then Andrew got it, that it was a prank. But I was playing it on him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to Daryl and Sandy. So Daryl and Sandy, being that I was a loyal friend to Daryl, was over there many weekends hanging out there where the other guys wouldn't. Like, oh, we should hook you up with someone. We should introduce you to one of our friends or something.
Say, awesome.
So Sandy had a friend. Ooh. I forget her name. And
that must have gone well then.
It didn't go well. That's obviously.
I'm like, oh.
So he said he had a friend. Her name was Kristen, and now I'm no. That's not how this
That's
story
wrong.
goes.
That's wrong
So
one.
we know that this story goes nowhere. So of course I don't remember her name. So here's what happens. Sandy invites the friend over. Daryl invites me over, and we all understand that this is to introduce the two of us to see how we get along and like each other. And of course, I'm a bit skittish and shy, and she's also maybe a little on the shy side. So, but we politely interact, and she's kind of cute. I could see myself being with her, and maybe to see where it goes. So, the attraction was there enough that I could have pursued something if it would have worked out. And I don't know. She told Sandy that she kind of thought that maybe she'd be interested in pursuing this or whatever. So we so yeah, we were I think 2 or 3 times they invited us over, and like the first time it was just a little chit chat, kind of get to know each other, and that was that. And of course Sandy's trying to egg me on, like, ask her for a number. I'm like, I don't know. So like the second or third time we hang out, Sandy's like, dude, she likes you. Ask her for her number. She'll give it to you. You just got to ask her for her number. I'm like, oh, all right. And so this turned into more of something I needed to do than something I wanted to do. Because if the other story was and I never asked her for her number and we never talked again, I'm some dumb punk that can't even ask a girl for a number. That's a guaranteed thing. So of course I've got to ask for the number. I know that I don't have the guts to dial the number and talk to her, but that's future Johnny's problem. Tonight the task is ask for the number and get it. We'll figure out how to deal with the fear of holding the phone and trying to dial the numbers. That that's we'll figure that out next week. This week the task is ask for the number, knowing it's a done deal. So as we're wrapping up for the night, she's getting ready to leave. I'm like, well, I have to do this. And if I don't do this now, I've not asked her for a number, and that's the end of this. So I'm like, hey, can I get your number? And she said, I don't know. I'll have to think about that, as she collects her stuff to leave. And then we say our goodbyes, and she left. After she left, Sandy and Daryl are like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, that's what I'd like to know. Sandy's like, I don't know. She told me that she liked you. I thought for sure she was going to give you the number. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have told you to pursue that if I. It was oh my God. You know what we need here? Of course. Yeah.
That's not cool, man. Ask her number. No, I don't want you to be my number.
Nah. Well, it was kind of a nervous laughter. I had to think about that.
Sparky said she got to know the real Johnny. You waited too long. Oh.
Yeah. Well. No, I think what it was is there wasn't a huge age difference, but there was a age difference. Daryl and Sandy, mind you, all these people were older than me. So Daryl, Sandy, kind of older than me in the 10-ish range. Not a huge deal when you're young adults hanging out, so whatever.
Yeah.
But she was probably also around 10 years older than me, 7 years, 6 years, 10 years, I don't know. Enough that at that young adult stage, it does still seem like a wide gap between, early 20s and late 20s, early 30s. There is a little bit of a gap there. Certainly not a huge gap or a deal breaker gap, but for some people, she felt like she might have been robbing the cradle, I guess, or so.
7 years isn't that much.
No. Now Sparky says, 10 years is a
Unless,
big
of
deal.
course,
in
you're
20. 12
and the other person is 19.
Yeah, that's the thing. Differences narrow the older you get, but into the 20s and 30s, it's still a gap. So yeah, I think that made her uncomfortable with trying to pursue something with me. As I think now, mind you, I don't know exactly what she told Sandy. I think Sandy might have told me something the next week, secondhand, like, what the hell was that about? Oh, she just kind of nervous. I told her she was being stupid, but, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I've been rejected before. Big fucking deal. Yeah. Life story. I'm used to it. So they never invited us over at the same time after that.
Oh, they still could have done that.
I don't know. No, well, I mean, she wasn't regularly invited over. The whole reason they were inviting her over was, I think Sandy usually hung out with her other place. I don't know what Sandy's, but it wasn't normal for Sandy to invite friends over. At least not when I was over.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the Super Bowl parties. They had some other friends over. Sparky wants to know if I looked up on Facebook. I don't even remember her name. I don't. Absolutely don't. And Daryl ended up breaking up with Sandy or Sandy broke up with Daryl. They broke up at some point. So I couldn't even look up Sandy because I don't even remember Sandy's last name.
So was he drinking too much or something?
I don't know. I remember because I lost touch with these people. I lost regular touch with these people when I moved to Maine. This comes from my post-college pre-moving out years. I sometimes refer to as my dark years. But there's nothing more depressing than being a young adult out of college, living at their parents' house, working Walmart, retail, starter jobs.
Better watch out. There are a lot of people that do that now, Gators.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that do that now.
And
it was starting to become...
and that can be depressing.
Well, in my generation, it was kind of getting to be more normal. But I think it's gotten even more normal past my generation. Yeah. But it wasn't abnormal in my generation to get on your feet, sticking around at your parents' house a bit, especially in expensive states to live in, like New Jersey.
Kids are sitting there saving their, quote unquote, saving their money as they're working, living at home. Now, I say quote unquote because people are like, they're saving their money. Sure, why not?
So, yeah, so I moved up to Maine, and I still like exchange emails with him periodically to update him on what's going on. And so I came back down for a long weekend, and I'm like, hey, Daryl, let's go hang. What are you doing this weekend? I'm in town. Let's go hang out, get some dinner, get a few drinks, and hang out. And what had happened since then was, and this was starting to happen when I was getting ready to move out of the state. Sandy was house shopping because her family was going to help her out to buy a house for her and the kids to live in, and it was going to be she was buying this house, and I think Daryl was welcome to move in because he was practically moved in with her in the condo. So at some point, Sandy bought a house. Daryl moved in. Daryl was living there. But then when I came down to visit him, Daryl was recently kicked out. But they were still on friendly terms, but she wanted some time apart or distance. And so...
Did he still he still had a house or not?
Yeah, he still kept his house throughout all this.
Yeah, so maybe maybe you're better just go to your house. And
that's pretty much the only option he had. What was he going to do? He's got a house, so when he's kind of kicked out, but he still was getting mail there and was regularly in contact with her. So I go hang out with him. We get some dinner, and then at some point he's like, "Well, I got to go pick up mail from Sandy's house." And of course, the whole night he's bitching about how Sandy, I lived there. It was great. And then she wants this distance. And I don't get it. I didn't do anything wrong. And she hasn't told me I've done anything wrong, but she wants this distance. And it's like, man, she's being stupid, whatever. Give it time, give it space. If it works out, it works out. If not, whatever. He's like, yeah, what are you going to do? But he's kind of down on it and grumbling about it. So we go to her house. And so, of course, now I'm Daryl's friend. I got along with both of them, but I'm Daryl's friend, so I'm biased in this whole thing. So I walk in, and of course I ask Sandy right up front, so what the heck's going on? And Sandy's like, and Sandy, I think, kind of did like a roll of the eye, like, here we go. He's Daryl's friend. He's going to agree with him. He's like, but she's kind of giving me the same runaround, like, I don't know. I just need space. But it's this thing that you can't get a straight answer. and it's probably complicated anyways because what you're dealing with people's
she
feelings and
probably
emotions.
thought you didn't need that wasn't your business.
Well, actually, there wasn't a vibe of it's not your business. Fuck off.
I mean, she didn't want. She was successful in not giving that vibe.
Well, it actually did lead to a conversation, and we talked a bit because the most I got out of it was like she was kind of going into, well, it's not like it used to be. We used to do more things together, go on dates, and now we're just living together and kind of, I think she felt like they felt into this rut. He moved in, and this is just it, and she didn't feel like that was where she wanted to be.
I see.
And so I kind of said, well, go on a date then. And she's like, yeah, that's a good idea. We could do that. And Daryl kind of begrudgingly yeah, I guess we could. I'm like, there you go. You should, give this time to plan a date.
Maybe she wanted a date with you.
Date more. Oh. No, she didn't want a date with me. So anyways,
I wanted to put a twist on the story, right?
So, it was one of those things that I left that situation getting a glimpse into something that I was not a part of for a period of time and then was not going to be a part of. But I kind of gave them both my 2 cents, which was give it time, give it the space, but give it a chance too. Sandy, you got to figure out what you want here too. You can't just string them along. But Daryl, you got to take her out and wine and dine her because she needs something more that she's not getting here.
Remember,
and so,
if they're partners, they both have to work on it.
Now, in my mind, the meeting came off as me being an insightful friend from way back that gave him good advice. For all I know, I left there looking like the jackass that can't keep his nose out of their business. But I prefer to think of it the other way.
Right.
But whatever happened, that relationship was not meant to be, and it fizzled from there. So whatever was needed there didn't happen, and it wasn't to be anyways. So I don't know I don't know Sandy's last day to look her up. I'm still Facebook friends with Daryl, but I don't see him post all that much, and we haven't talked in so long. It'd be a little odd out of nowhere to go, hey, want to go grab a drink? Not to mention he wears red hats these days. That could be awkward. Not that I'm opposed to hanging out with people with red hats, but he went hardcore with it on Facebook, which had me kind of rolling my eyes with it. It's like, whatever. I'm not worried about I'm just worried about what his reaction might be if I react poorly to something he says, and the
thing is, you just kind of leave that aside. I mean, I talk to people that I'm like, I don't care. It's not my business. I just don't care.
Well, I don't care, but if you bring up a topic, I'm going to tell you my opinion, and if you can't handle that could lead to conflict.
I've had people bring up topics, and I say, I look at them and go, I'm sorry, I don't talk politics.
Well, today things just get weird.
Yeah.
Some people get explosive over it. Some people, if you identify, some people have identified people that disagree as the enemy. And if you risk being branded an enemy by someone if you identify that you don't subscribe to their ideology.
That's why I don't talk about it, Gators. And my feeling is, hey, if you don't respect my thoughts about not talking about this subject, then that means you're not respecting me.
Right.
Well, then why are we hanging out?
Well,
I hate
cool.
to say it.
Yeah,
It's just that thing. And I'm not saying one way or another or anything. I'm not going to. I don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a small part of why I wouldn't reach back out to him. I mean, the big thing is I don't live anywhere near him. I haven't been friends with him for many years, and our lives have both gone in very different directions.
Sure, yeah. So what's the point of it?
And so there's not a whole lot of common ground to come back to anymore. So
well, you don't live near your old college roommate, right? Well, you're still pretty friendly with him.
Well, yeah, but we had the. That's an interesting thing. I mean, some friends.
It's different. You guys are
some friends you build a bond with.
You're on the same page.
Some friends you build a bond with that you just stay in touch for the rest of your lives, and some friends you drift apart from.
Yeah, in fact, like most of my coworkers, I haven't. There's only a couple of former coworkers that I've talked to,
and I don't even know
you are one of them. Nick is another one.
I mean, that's the other thing. How did this friendship happen? I mean, it's kind of a fluke that we ended up just staying in touch.
My wealth tells me that I'm attracted to weirdos.
There you go.
I mean, hey, I'm also friends with Nix. Guess what? Another weirdo.
Yeah, we need to get him on the show one of these days.
Oh, he'll never do it. He'll never do it. He'll just say that's wasting my time. Not like he's doing much else, right?
I got it. We need a new promo because our promo's over a year old now. Why don't we all fly out to, where is he? What, St. Paul, Minnesota?
Minneapolis, I think.
Minneapolis? Okay. So you bars, we fly out there and I get the Super 8 camera and the film and we shoot a promo of us going over and unexpectedly knocking on Nick's door.
We might actually be able to find him because he's right next to this park.
Okay.
We just have to figure out where that park is.
Well, you got his number, so if we just keep roaming around parks and dial his number and listen for the ringtone, we'll eventually find him.
Should we bring some Hummels as a homecoming gift?
Yes.
No!
Okay.
Anything, and some orchids.
I found the stray cat. Is it yours?
You know, of course, he left all of his orchids behind.
He did. He left
But
them
I
in-
have noticed he does have some more orchids.
Well, he has pictures of orchids. He shares pictures.
I think he has some orchids left.
Okay. He probably. He would buy them off eBay.
He'd buy orchids on eBay?
Oh yeah, he would buy them
I
on
think
eBay.
he finds them on all kinds of sources.
I know he had bought either like seeds or sprouts or something. He's bought through eBay at times.
Yeah. Well, you have to find the right grower, and if you find a good grower on eBay, then go for it.
Yeah, but no, that could be interesting. Go out there, knock on his door, see what happens.
Or find one of these. There's one brand of orchid, one species of orchid. It's all over the place, right? And they inject it with colors, so it has different colors.
Oh.
Like those are not natural colors.
Now, Sparky's saying it sounds like a plan.
He would probably be. You go to the door, you knock it, he opens it up, and he sees that thing, and he slams the door in your face.
You know what? Sparky can figure out where Nick lives. He's good at that type of stuff. But now Sparky
Is he in law enforcement?
We're not really sure.
Just a guess.
I suspect he has a job that has access to free screwdrivers. That's just my suspicions. But
and you've got this other friend that has access to scaffolding.
Scaffolding, yes, scaffolding and screwdrivers. That's what friends are for. With screwdrivers, with scaffolding, I'll be at your side for.
Oh no!
All you need is another friend that has a margarita.
Yeah. There we go. So, anyways, Sparky asking, how did I meet Johnny? I think through Dune. Probably. How did you find our streams? Because I don't think Sparky was around the NHB days. I think you pretty much came through in the Twitch days, in the Twitch era, which is why it's great that we have all these backstories that some of our listeners weren't around for, that it's like new material.
Is there anybody on YouTube, by the way?
What's that?
Is there anybody on YouTube, by the way? Are you streaming to YouTube still?
I stream to YouTube. Sometimes there's viewers on YouTube.
Okay.
I think they're all busy watching Addy's stream.
Does he stream?
Oh, he streams his programming and coding. He's coding a new instant messenger app for himself, and he streams him writing code, because that is riveting entertainment right
I
there.
should look him up.
Wait a minute. How do you do an instant messenger stuff app for yourself?
Well, and for your friends too.
So you okay, all right. I thought you're going to use the instant messenger to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. One thing I learned about Addy was that he had something like 50 to 100 AOL Instant Messenger usernames back before they closed that up, and I knew this because Addy would push my buttons and get me angry, and I'd decide to end the conversation, so I'd block his account, and then another account would message me, pick up the conversation, try to egg me on to, and then I'd block that. Then I blocked that. And then like 10 accounts later, it's like, how many fucking accounts do you have? He's like, well, I was doing some like add-in, plug-in programming, so I needed test accounts. So I have like 50. I'm like, could you knock it off? I'm done with this conversation.
Anders, you did it wrong. You need to hit mute on it, not block him. You just mutes it so you can't see what he's doing.
That requires a level of self-restraint that I don't have. If I see another message came through, I'm going to read it.
Well,
if it
mute that.
enrages me, I'm going to respond to it. I have to block.
Oh no, I just muted it.
Apparently,
It's fine.
Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it,
Oh yeah.
they are removing the block button.
Well, you can block, but they can still see what you're typing. They just can't respond to you. And
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and that's okay. But if and I hate to bring up something creepy, but if there's stalkers out there, they still can see what you're doing, and that is not correct. They have gotten over 2 million people jumping from X or Twitter to Blue Sky or places like that don't do it because of this feature.
Well,
Yeah, right.
on the one hand,
Yeah.
it makes it harder to shield yourself from stalkers. On the other hand, a stalker is going to take the 5 minutes it takes to set up a dummy account that
Yeah.
you don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course, if your account's set to private that only friends can see it, then
Oh, I
that
don't do that. I
that
don't
doesn't
care.
help. I mean, it is tough in this era to protect yourself from someone that is
Well,
determined
the alternative
to
there
monitor
is
your
just like
moves.
to get off social media altogether.
Yeah,
Some people have. Okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I just don't care myself.
but
so.
that can be very isolating for some people that also have good things that come out of that,
Yeah.
and no one should have to give up their
Yeah, but
social
30
media.
years, what did we do? We had a telephone. We called up our friends.
Ryan, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day when you had a telephone, right?
Yes.
You remembered everybody's phone numbers pretty much, right?
You had to. Yeah.
Okay, question. How many of those people's phone numbers that you have on your phone right now do you know?
On my current phone.
Yes, on your current phone. How many of those phone numbers do you know by heart? And you just dial them up.
Oh, the numbers themselves?
Yeah,
Virtually none.
exactly.
That's
When
right.
you have-
If
when
I'm
you
going to
have a
call
contact
Bill,
list-
I look up Bill.
Yeah, when you have a contact list that are like 250 to 400 people, you're like, I don't know anybody's freaking number. Don't ask me.
His phone number is Bill. I just tap
Yeah,
Bill and it calls
yeah,
Bill.
Type in Bill, it calls Bill.
Right.
That's what
Right,
you want.
exactly.
Don't
That's
mess with
exactly how
Bill.
it works
You know,
nowadays.
you type in elephant dude, you get elephant dude. You know.
Well, the big joke is, do you remember the phone number you have growing up?
Yes.
Oh,
I do.
absolutely. Bang, 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 bang,
Yeah,
bang. I
I
know
do.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you just gave out your best password because you'll never freaking forget it. Right?
But that's
Yeah.
still findable information. So I would never use it. And plus, passwords
Well,
can't just
I
be numbers.
understand. Actually, you could use that phone number plus some other digits to make it difficult.
It could be part of something, but
Yeah.
at this point, I just use randomized passwords in a password manager, and I'm happy to say I am down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accounts.
By the way,
That
what
I still need to change my
password
password
manager
on.
do you like?
Well, I like the ones that for a long time I was doing probably what's a bad habit, which is letting Chrome remember my passwords. But now that I
yeah.
use Brave, I let Brave remember my passwords.
No, I don't
Okay.
have things to remember my passwords. I don't do it. I don't like it. I have. In fact, every time I log into Twitch, I have to sit there and log in with their username and password, which is fine. And then it goes, oh, I don't recognize your browser. I'm going to send you a code every single time I log into Twitch. So I have my 2-factor. But then Twitch goes, hey, would you like to set up a 2-factor? Which means it would be a 3-factor for me, and I'm not doing that. So I just don't.
I know. Isn't that absurd?
Yeah, it's
But-
fine. I don't, you know.
But I still have several accounts set to the same password that, well, I had 2 passwords that were shared passwords among several accounts. And the one that was shared among junk accounts like forums and things like that, that isn't the end of the world if they get compromised. That password got compromised, so I've been going through a spreadsheet changing them to randomized passwords. But I still have another common password on a lot of my accounts, some
Yeah,
of which are that's my next spreadsheet. I need to fix the uncompromised password to be all randomized passwords.
Well, or in some of those are not that important. You go, okay, so let's say the root is Freddy. Okay, you have Freddy 1, Freddy 2, Freddy 3, 4, Freddy 4. So they're different, but similar enough that it's easy to remember.
Yeah, that is a strategy.
Or instead of that number, you have like Facebook would be FB, Yahoo would be YH,
Yahoo.
Gmail would be GM.
The 90s
you know, whatever.
called. They want their email back.
Hey, I still have my Yahoo
Exactly.
account from the 90s Gator.
Exactly.
In fact, I used to use. I actually paid for Yahoo Plus at one point because I got POP3 access. Then they said that I had to renew. I go, oh, I never renewed, and they said, oh yeah, now you have POP3 access, and they're taken away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I used to use the POP3 because I would use, what was that, Mozilla Thunderbird for my
I still
email
use
client.
Thunderbird, yeah. Yeah, I use
And
Thunderbird still.
and then at some point I switched over to, well, then it's funny, I used the Netscape suite, and at some point when I installed it came with more than just a browser, and I'm like, oh, I can set my email up here because my college email they set me up with, they installed like a Telnet app on my computer to sign into to check my email on this text-based thing, and
oh,
so
it was
then
probably Pine. Yeah.
it was Ewan.
Ewan, okay.
Ewan, EWAN. Let me Google that.
Yeah.
See if that's a thing.
Because if it was text-based and if through a Linux system, it was probably like a Pine system.
It was it was basically because you'd also use it to sign into other servers that you had access to. So it was basically like a telnetting
Cool.
app.
Cool.
Because I think I could actually get into through the Telnet application. Yeah, Telnet Ewan. I'm still not finding much about it. Anyways,
Well, we probably got rid of that thing a long time ago.
but when I got set up with a network card on my computer, they automatically put that app on my computer and showed me how to check my email using it. And so that was how I so then when I got the Netscape Communicator app, which came with the Thunderbird email client, that's when I figured out, oh wow, I could just get my email to load into this app on my computer that's much nicer to read than this like text-based
Right now.
telnetting thing.
Yeah.
But at some point I was switched over to Outlook Express for my email client.
Outlook
And
Express was really good at the time. It was really
Yeah.
a good program.
Okay, so here's a quick one, right?
What?
So the current owner of Yahoo is Verizon. Okay.
Oh,
Here are
Verizon
the other
now?
brands that they own, and kind of go, how good of a job are they doing? They own AOL, they own Yahoo, they own CompuServe, they own Netscape, TextCrunch, Engadget, and bleh,
Oh, they
Engadget.
own Gadget too, yeah. TechCrunch and
Built
Gadget.
by girls
Yep. That's a good one.
and
too.
rivals.
okay,
Yep.
So how do you think they're doing?
not good.
That's
Well-
bizarre.
Yeah. Well, they got them for sale on the from a
Oh, yeah,
someone's
yeah.
garage
It's,
sale.
Yeah,
But-
there you go. Or on eBay.
But so, anyways, at some point when I my senior year of college, I ended up in a house that wasn't wired onto the high speed network, so I had to dial in to connect to the college's
Good old
network. And-
dial-in, yes, sir.
yeah, and I
Who was your
found
first dial-in connector? AOL.
I never really had a dial up subscription.
Mine was Macbell.
Let's see. When I was in college, we had the high speed, and then I dialed into their bank. Then when I moved home after college, that was at the point where you could get free dial-up internet from things like Juno or
Yes, right. Which was annoying, but yeah.
Net Zero.
Right.
But then they started limiting their free service by kicking
Right.
you off and telling you to connect at 3 a.m. when there was less traffic.
You know, or
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
so then I had a friend who knew a guy that worked at an ISP, and they set up a shared password that was shared among their friends. And at some point, this small group of friends had the shared password, started sharing with other friends. My Windows 98 instruction booklet has the dial-in number, the username and password written in that book. And so I was basically just dialing into that for free after Juno stopped working. That was called NACnet. And Yeah, I would get call waiting drop offs. And then that became an issue because then my dad would get pissed off like, hey, your brother's out hanging out with friends. If he needs to call for an emergency, we need the line free. So then, it started having to be that I couldn't spend too much time on the internet until he got home. It's like, all right, he's home, you can connect. And so eventually I bought well, then after the Twin Towers came down, my dad bought cable finally because the antenna signals stopped coming in because they were transmitted from the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really? Wow.
So the temporary transmission towers that they set up to because for a while we only got in CBS for a few weeks after the towers came down because CBS broadcast it from somewhere else. So it took a while for them to set up replacement transmission towers that were given as strong a signal out to Central Jersey as they used to have. So my dad started getting headaches from watching snowy TV signals. So that's what finally prompted my dad to pay for a cable package. So I basically said, hey, Dad, tell you what, if you get cable internet, I'll pay the extra like $30 a month or $50 a month, or whatever extra it costs.
Yeah.
I'll pay that on the cable bill every month. So since I'll be primarily using it, of course, we put in a router and everyone was using it. And then when I moved out of the house, Dad had to pay for it. But that's how so yeah, the only dial-up I used was free stuff, and then I got cable in the house.
Yeah, in the early days, I was on CompuServe.
But when I was doing the
For
dial-up
dial-up.
from college, that was a period of time where I found out that over dial-up, at least for my college's dial-up, Internet Explorer loaded pages significantly faster than Netscape Communicator. So I had been a pretty committed Netscape user for freshman, sophomore, junior year of college, and then
Sure.
I switched to IE senior year because just plain and simple worked better. So by the time I was moving home in Jersey, I was still a solid IE user and was using Outlook Express for email. And then Yahoo blocked POP3 unless you paid them. So then that's when I started using the browser client to read my email. And then Yahoo started popping up ads on top of my emails while I'm trying to read them. And I would
They don't do that anymore.
You know what? That was something that would come and go.
Yeah.
Because enough people would complain and
Sure.
threaten to leave that it would go away. But for a long time, I had my Yahoo account as my primary account after I left my
Sure.
college account behind. And my Gmail account, when they started giving out Gmail accounts, it was invite only. So you'd put your name on the list and you'd sign up for one and you'd have it, even if you didn't switch everything over and use it. So I had my Gmail account for the longest time as a secondary account I just wasn't using. But what finally tipped me over the edge was that Yahoo wouldn't let me use my phone's mail app.
Really? Wow.
Well, they would let me, but they would nag me. Every time I go in, they pop up a nag thing telling me why I should use their app and not my phone's native app. And so at some point, I got so pissed off with the nagging, I sent a lengthy email to someone telling them where they could shove their email service, and I was done with them.
Oh.
And I said,
Well, what cracks me up is that
yeah,
I've been using Yahoo Mail on my iPhone, using the iPhone Mail app forever.
now Sparky,
And I've never had a problem with it.
now Sparky asks, what was cable? Just the TV part, like $12? I don't know, but I do know that my dad got the cheapest package you could get because my dad was satisfied with broadcast TV for all these years. And the cheapest package you could buy would give you just the broadcast TV channel.
I had that from At Home at the time because that's what it was called, At Home here. And I had that, and I think I paid $15 a month for it, and it was just the broadcast channels. That's all it was.
Yeah. But at some point,
Yeah.
we you know what happened? What would happen is that when you would get the broadcast channel network, they give you one extra channel past 13 or something like that. And so they were getting an Animal Planet as the extra channel. And I don't know if that was a filter issue, that it struggled to filter in one channel beyond where you got, or if that was just a free bonus that they included intentionally. At the time, I thought it was an unintentional, because back then it was. We didn't have a cable box. It was just using the TV had cable. Because basic cable you could do without a box on a modern TV of the early Audis. You only need the box if you're doing things like premium channels. So I figured it was just the filter had a not strict cutoff point. But maybe it was by design because
I had Discovery Channel. That's the one they gave me.
Yeah,
and that was what was good. So.
It was Discovery. So they had Discovery Channel. So my family got hooked on Discovery Channel because that was the new channel, and there's cool
and
things
that's
on
when it was good. Now it's not, but that's when it was good.
And then they changed it. They changed the channel lineups or the order, and so the free channel that came in on like channel 14 was something that wasn't as interesting as Discovery. So then that's what my dad's like. Well, I guess I could pay extra for standard cable so that we could get Discovery in again.
Now at my old apartments, what happened was I wasn't paying for anything extra because I paid most money for my cable internet. But when I had the $15 like extremely like limited package, one day my cable went out, and I look outside and there was a guy at the box, a guy working for at home, and he goes, "Oh, your cable went out. Let me fix that for you." And he left, and I didn't get a chance, so I turned on my TV and my cable's back, and I go, so I turned channel like 14. And I went up, I go, oh, what, 15, 16? I had the extended package for like a year. So I had like Disney, I had everything for like a year. And it happened on my birthday. It was funny. On my birthday. So I had the extended channel. I had like 60 channels. It was great. Awesome. For like a year. And then one day I was sitting there watching TV, and I turned off my TV, I turned it back on, and I just had extended channels again, the regular channels again. I was like, oh, I was really hoping to watch this today, and I can't use this channel anymore. So what do? I go, okay, fine. I paid for extended channels because I had a little more money coming in at the time. Yeah.
Then they jack up the price.
Yeah. Yeah, they just fat finger me up, and that's fine. That's fine. I didn't have a problem for a year, and then one day, and the problem with that box, the problem with the box outside my apartment complex was, you look in there, and it was the kind of box that was easily open. Everybody just had the same package for a long time. Everybody just said, oh yeah, click, 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 click. Everybody had it. They just would do it themselves.
Well, I remember
in my early days at Tharco. There was a guy that was doing help desk. Essentially, you're one of the guys that survived that.
One of my predecessors.
One of your predecessors. Nice guy. He was really big into Rush and that type of stuff, right?
Oh.
Prog rock.
Rush really isn't prog rock.
Yeah, they are.
But he was. Yeah, he wasn't into Yes or some of the others. Okay. This was kind of the hard stuff.
Trying the Russian you too.
Anyway, so he got an offer and took a job at the At Home Network.
Yeah, At Home was great because they didn't have. It was unlimited. You could get as fast as you wanted.
So anyway,
yeah.
So he really needed money. And when he took the offer, they offered some stock options. Oh, yes, look at this. I'm going to get all this money with stock options. He clearly didn't understand how they work. Because you're not going to just get the money. It depends on how the company got. And At Home didn't long last that much longer after he left.
But
because they're gone.
Brian, but the thing is, they got bought out, and all the stock options went to AT&T for a while. And then it went over. Then it went over to So if he had stock options with At Home, I hope he still has them. That'd be awesome. He's got some money because that's those stocks transferred.
No, he would have as soon as he had access to it. He would have cashed them in.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure that he got anything.
He'd have a buttload of money now because that money is gone.
Yeah. But then again, At Home is
At home was great.
They're now
because
defunct, but then
the way at home worked. The way at home worked at the time, it was a network. So basically, you connected to that, and you shared your bandwidth with the people around your area. Well,
Right.
at home was more expensive. Everybody had like DSL. Everybody had DSL because it was cheaper at the time. So I was basically on the network myself, and I was pulling down. I was doing let's see, in 97 or 90, no, it was 98. I was probably getting, I would say like 800 meg down. I mean, my router didn't support that, but that's what I would have gotten. Because honestly, there was no cap. There was no cap or anything. It was just going down as fast as it could.
Flying.
Yeah, it was flying. It was great.
Oh, we got a raid Tired Actor.
Oh, what's going on with Tired Actor?
Tired Actor has been doing games. Well, we don't usually raid gamers, but do you know who Tired Actor is? She's the square hole girl. But don't call her that.
I don't recall that.
She's a TikToker that she's really cute. She did this thing where she was reacting to a person that had this like kid's toy that all the different shaped blocks fit in the square hole. And he's like, so where's the triangle go? It goes in the square hole. And every time he's doing this to a different shape, she's getting more and more visibly upset. And somehow that went viral. Well, now she does Twitch streams sometimes playing games.
Oh,
so
nice.
we should.
Yeah,
but before we
yeah.
do that, Sparky has a question. Kato, has it reared its ugly head this past week, Johnny? Oh, God. So the person that's having the Kato issue, last week, what'd we do? It happened again, and so I put the word out to Kato support. She's having the problem now. Now, the problem is that I could either make her live with the problem while we wait for Kato support to possibly initiate a call so that they could actually see it happening, or I could work on it some myself, potentially fix it, and possibly get no useful information for Kato to actually figure out the fucking root cause. But Kato had asked me to install Wireshark, which is like
nice.
a network
Yeah.
tracking, tracing, reporting tool. So I basically worked with her and said, well, let me see if I can get connected in there and see what's happening, see if I could see anything. And then also I had another Kato issue recently that was fixed that they said it was some kind of conflict with IPv6. So I'm like, well, let me disable IPv6 on your laptop, see if that fixes anything or not. So I go in, I run the Wireshark, but I don't know how, and they didn't give me any instructions. But I ran it and grabbed some data. It turned out to be useless because I didn't select all the right adapters they wanted me to select. But they gave me more instructions then. So basically, I run the Wireshark, don't get the right data. I disable IPv6, and it starts working again. But they said, no, that has nothing to do with that other ticket. It's not the IPv6 thing. I don't know why that worked. I'm like, well, it's been temperamental. I never know if anything I'm doing is why it works or if it's just that time passed. So they basically said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you instructions how to run the Wireshark. Next time it happens, follow those instructions, get us that data, and send it to us, and we'll figure it out from there. That was Friday. So this morning, bright and early, 7:30 a.m. It's doing it again. I can't work. So I walk her through running the Wireshark thing and doing the things to capture the packets, capture the data, all that. And we do that, and I get in there, and I gather the things, and I play around, and I get it working again. And then I send the data off to Kato. And I'm like, okay, looks like it's good now. Continue working as normal, and we'll wait what Kato finds with that data we got. So anyway, so Kato looks at it and they schedule a call with me because then at some point she's like, it stopped working. And I'm like, oh God, again? And I'm like, well, try disconnecting, reconnecting, try using your phone as a hotspot. And she's like, okay, it's working now. It fixed itself. I'm like, okay. So I told Kato support, here's the data, here's the things. It stopped working again, but now it's working. And then she messages me and goes, no, it's still not working. Because she's on the CC list for any updates that I send to Kato support, and they send me. So she saw I'm telling Kato, well, it's working now. She's like, no, it's not. And I had to go in, no, it's not. So Kato arranges a call with me. We get on a call, And they say, and I'm like, well, what did you get from the data I sent you? And they're like, well, we ruled out a few things. We know it's not this. We know it's not that. We know it's not this. I'm like, okay, so what's our next steps here? And they're like, well, we really want to get, some logs from the browser while the browser's trying to load the thing. So I connect into their computer. It's having the problems again. We get the browser to do its thing, and we grab that log. I send that to them, and I'm like, okay, well, here you go. Analyze this and tell me what next steps are. And I haven't heard a thing from them since, and that was in the middle of the day. So they spent the second half of the day analyzing the data, never getting back to me. So and she's basically been bouncing from her home network to her hotspot on her phone, disconnecting, reconnecting, struggling to get any work done today. And then she's going to be out Wednesday through Friday. So if I don't figure anything out tomorrow, I have to wait till next week before I resume any troubleshooting.
So, what I would
The saga-
doing- Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
The saga continues.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So-
what I recommend, Gator, is you set the computer to run IPv4. Yes, that's great, but the router still would be trying to push up IPv6. So she needs to reboot her router and her modem and set that up.
Well, it turns out they said it has nothing to do with that. The ticket that had that issue was a completely different thing during the authentication. Because he's like, really, that fixed it? Because I wouldn't expect that. I'm like, well, I don't know if I had anything to do with it. So
I still would have her reboot some stuff because if she's getting some.
oh, believe me, I've asked her to reboot things many times, but
Has she done it? That's the question.
well, the other thing is that she's having the same problem connected to her phone's hotspot, so it's not tied to one network.
Oh, okay. So okay.
So she's bounced between. So yeah, it could be something with the network adapter, and there's part of me that's like, if I swap that laptop, that might fix it. But I want a fucking answer, because I've had
Exactly.
because this isn't the first laptop that's had this issue with Cato, and I can't just keep retiring laptops that have Cato issues. So I want an answer. I want an explanation before I retire this laptop. Now, Sparky Bright said, you know what? In the end, Cato will fix it and not tell anyone what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. But
You know what it probably is? Here's what it is. A garbage truck came down our street and kind of screwed up with the cable connection.
that could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, well then what about the phone's Wi-Fi hotspot?
That's
Yeah.
you got me.
What you could do. Oh, never mind.
All right.
No. What can I do? I'll
Oh.
take any advice at this point.
Okay. Well, and the problem is you're remote, so that's what sucks. You can sit there and delete the adapter out of the net, do it, and have Windows reinstall everything to try and reset everything that's been done. Do it. But
Well, I could do that in the office tomorrow, maybe, because I think she
Yeah.
comes into the office on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
yeah, at least do that once and
There
see
you
if
go.
it resets all the crap because something might have gotten reset. You know how Windows is. Yeah.
I think there's some, because the thing is that Cato works for the most part for most of our employees, but I've seen enough weird things on a handful of computers that I think there's some quirk in there that sometimes runs into compatibility issues with certain network configurations or protocols. And it's one of those things that requires I can't name you what is it, 7 layers of networking? Is it 7?
Oh yeah, it's 7 layers of networking. It's like a burrito. It's like the good burritos. It's 7 layers.
And I'm just like, where's the refried beans? I don't get.
That's the one. That's the one. It's the
To me,
refried
there
bean.
should be one layer. It's the wire. It sends the packets through the wire. It's a series of tubes. That's the extent of my knowledge of networking. That is, you connect the cable, the signals go through. 7 layers. What is that for? How does that work? Not a fucking clue. And I've read about it.
Doesn't Unix have 7 layers?
I don't know.
I went to 7 layers when I took my Cisco classes. So
Yeah, I don't know. I need to study that some more. But my job has not required me to do in-depth networking,
you know what?
so I'll
Write
focus
on
more.
Notepad. Get a Notepad, copy 7 layers over, and you have an aside for later.
Well, it's not useful unless I understand it to a level that I can use that to do things. I can't do anything with a list on a piece of paper. I need to know what does that mean, and how do I use that, and how does this knowledge, how do I apply this knowledge?
How does this work? How does that work? How does that
Right.
work? And how do they
What could I
connect?
do with this knowledge? How does this help me do things with
Right.
that? And that's where I'm just not at.
So Sparky just learned about the latest things on Cato, right?
There you go.
He did. And
I forget what was our first topic?
our first topic was the FedEx truck and the TV.
FedEx truck, yeah, the TV.
And Mars's poop box.
His porch pirate.
So what have you learned this week, Brian?
I think it was a poop pirate. That was good. That's such a good story.
And Mars, what have you learned?
That they don't want me to poop in a jar.
What's
Whoops.
That
What?
they don't want me to poop in a jar.
Right.
And I learned some great surprise package ideas for the thieves.
Oh,
I think I have a peanut butter jar on the sink. And I got boxes.
And Sparky realized that you never got our number.
and it could have changed your life forever.
Yeah. Partly for the worse.
Well, and right now you got it for the better.
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Here's the thing. If that worked out, that may have caused me to delay my move to Maine, and it probably wasn't going to work out as a relationship. So it probably would have just delayed the whole rest of my life and thrown everything into chaos after there.
You'd still be living with mom and dad.
Well, no, I might still have eventually moved to Maine, or maybe that wouldn't have been an option by then. Maybe Gothard would have gotten his life together in another way. It's like, yeah, I don't need a roommate up here. And then maybe I would have stuck around Jersey. But who knows? I'd probably still be
That's these
You
are
never
that's
know.
even
You
more. You guys
never
could have hung out and drank.
I'd probably still be a lonely, single, pathetic guy if my. Well, then again, I was still interested in pursuing something on NHB without moving up to
Actually,
Maine.
What would have happened, Gators, is you would have moved out into your old place in Jersey, right? And then Dennis would have lost his house and then moved in with you, and you would have had a roommate for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Or you would have moved in with him in his place
No, you wouldn't have done that.
and saved the house from.
No, you wouldn't have done that. The house is screwed up. You
And-
wouldn't have done that.
Anyways, we're gonna raid Tired Actor.
Yay!
I don't know if what game she's playing or if it's interesting, but at least
We just have to go for it.
Yeah.
but at least find her information to check out her TikTok channel. Trust me, you're gonna want to watch
The
this
Tiki Talks,
person's.
okay.
Yeah, look up Tired Actor on TikTok. Watch her TikToks. They're one. Of the, I don't review a lot of TikTok channels. It's pretty much her and B. Dylan Hollis are the only two TikTokers I watch.
Okay, they're taking
All right.
notes.
Well, we're going to be back here next week. It'll be November, and we'll have more Cato and TV stories and maybe FedEx stories for you.
Right.
So, yeah.
And you got your TV.
And I got my TV.
Dude says if you never met Barefoot Looker, you would have been a giant douche.
As opposed to being a giant happy douche. But, all right. Good night.
Good night!
All right. Let's see how pathetic I
Here we
rated.
go.
Oh, I rated with 5.
Wow.
Yippee. Well, you really sold it.
Hooray!